Well, the Bruins and the Nordiques coming up from Boston Garden here on Nesson tonight. Bruins back from a pretty awful road trip. I'm sure they'd like to get things back together again while they've got a few games at home now. Fred Cusick, Derek Sanderson, and Dave Shea standing by at Boston Garden. Gentlemen.
Thank you, Tom. Back from a long road trip, the Boston Bruins, and something, Dave, that they'd like to forget.
Yeah, you know what I think, Fred? I think it happened before the road trip, the problem beginning. Games like Toronto and Pittsburgh where they're giving up 8 goals and 6 goals, and this was a total departure from the way the Bruins had played during the month of January when they really made a move to the top. And despite the fact that they settled down for that Quebec game on February 8th, it was a playoff-type game, that thought didn't carry over into the All-Star break. I think everybody was looking ahead to the All-Star break, and we're still thinking about it in Toronto. And when they lost the Toronto game, suddenly a game that they should have won got away. Now they're going into Montreal. Here's a game they need to win. 2 key injuries early, and when they lost that, it just turned into a snowball effect. The juggling of lines with Gradine and McCarthy and Middleton out, and the trickle-down effect under the defense. This is the worst I've seen the Bruins play all season in their own end. And with no offense, you better play defense, and they weren't playing that either. So right now what they have to do is get their confidence back. Maybe the Garden for 3 games in a row might do the trick, but they need confidence badly.
Well, overall, the worst games, of course, were Montreal, Winnipeg, and then Hartford to wind it up. Derek, now it's down the home stretch. So what's ahead? What do they have to do?
Well, Dave's point is well taken. The trouble did start prior to the All-Star break. Now they've got to look at themselves. It is talent. The coaching is there. They have to look at their individual efforts. You can't play this game for 45 minutes, for 50 minutes. You've got to play it 60 minutes. Intensity is great, but talent is essential. And now you're going to get a look at the talent, the individual talent. The Linzmans have got to come on and play better, and you have to have some steady play from your defense. And Ray Bork can't do it all. So you can't leave it up to individuals. This has to be a team effort, and they've all got to pat each other on the back and get going in these 3 games at home.
Well, the first place is just about gone. What about settling for third, not play Ray Bork so much? What about that idea?
Well, I don't like to not play Ray Bork. He's used to that much ice time. What I'm looking forward to is that they get together as a team. They have other teams are going to run into these mental letdowns. The stretch drive is a psychological time in any season to prepare yourself for the playoffs, and it's get back to fundamentals, back to basics, back to you taking your lanes and finishing your checks. It may be boring hockey, but intense physical defensive hockey will get them going in the right direction.
Well, talking about intensity, Dave, Terry O'Reilly certainly has shown plenty of that in his workouts.
Oh, without a doubt. In fact, the most frustrating thing about last night's loss in Hartford was that Terry felt the Bruins had worked hard enough in practice, very hard, that their legs would be better late in the game, and for that reason they'd be better late in the game. And to lose a game like that when before the game they were so sure that they were going to win, psychologically now you have to hope that they can pull themselves back up today against Quebec.
Well, sure, they'd like to start right tonight against Quebec. Here's Tom.
All right, Fred, thank you. This is one of the games in hand that the Bruins have on the Montreal Canadiens. Canadiens are idle tonight. So a win for the Bruins would haul them within 2 points of second place in the division. Here's the schedule for the night. Well, those Sabres, Ted Saters, turned them around to a point where now a playoff possible. They're at home against St. Louis tonight. The Red Wings host the Vancouver Canucks. Patrick Division tussle down at Nassau Coliseum between the Islanders and the Penguins. Philly is in Calgary, and Winnipeg is at Los Angeles tonight. Now, we'll look back at the 5 games between the Bruins and the Nordiques so far this year, and Bruins Greg Johnston and Evan Marquardt look ahead to what the club needs to accomplish over the final month plus of the season. That's next when Bruins Digest continues on your New England Sports Network.
It's revved up and coming at you.
the action and excitement from New England Raceways is coming your way each week on Race Week. Race Week, the video magazine that brings you closer than ever before to the fascinating world of the super modified, the dirt modified, and much, much more. Now, you can be a part of all the thrills and spills from New England's racing scene. Race Week, coming your way each week on the New England Sports Network. Don't miss it.
No way this guy's gonna beat me. Not today. I've read all about psyching out guys like this. And it works.
Get a year of tennis for only $9.97, less than half the newsstand price. Call 800-228-4420. You'll also get our free booklet with tips to improve your game. Call 800-228-4420.
Tonight's game, the 6th time this season that the Bruins and the Nordiques have gone at it. The Bruins had their way in the against the Quebecers in the first 4, but the Nordiques got a big game from Clint Malarchuk in goal in the last game before the All-Star break for a win at the Garden. Let's go back now for a review of the 5 games that have gone before. After 2 weeks on the road, the Bruins return to Boston Garden tonight to host the Quebec Nordiques. Now, so far this season, this has been an eventful rivalry and a rather successful one for the Bruins. Their first meeting was November the 8th, which was also Terry O'Reilly's first game as coach.
There. Long shot by Johnston. Save. Rebound. Casper scores! Steve Casper, his second of the night. A rebound of a Johnston shot just after Quebec missed a glorious opportunity. It's 5-1 Boston.
3 weeks later, they met in Boston for what turned out to be one of the most exciting games of this or any year. In this one, the Nordiques were leading 2-1, third period, time running out.
Simmer, Mahler, battle. McCarthy trying to get it. It's back for Bork. Screen shot in front. McCarthy scores! 18 seconds left. Tom McCarthy ties it up. Set up after the Ray Bork shot with Doug Keens out of the goal. And the Bruins dig in again to tie it up. Tom McCarthy. Backward Picard takes a hit from Neely. Bang goes Eagles. And with it, Simmer in front. Shot. Score! They did it! It's a goal! It should be a goal! The Bruins should win it! But the red light is not on. Let's see what Hogarth says. This is up to Hogarth.
The same as the other night, Fred. Did they win it at the buzzer?
The Bruins beat the Nordiques a week later in Quebec. Bruins drubbing Quebec 6-2. And then beat them again on the road in January to give them a perfect 4-0 record, including 3 wins at the Colisée. Then in their last game before the All-Star break, the Bruins went for 5 in a row, but ran into a brick wall named Clint Malarchuk.
4 Bruins coming up now. McCarthy over the line with Neely. Puts it right on. And a save by Malarchuk. Oh, what a show in deep for Johnston. What a rush by Casper. For Casper, a shot. What a save by Malarchuk. He didn't know he had it. And Middleton over the line. Back for Neely. The shot. Right in the middle and a save by Malarchuk. As Gradine is spilled and Neely had a chance there, and Malarchuk performing like an all-star.
That defeat led to a tough road trip that extended the Bruins' losing streak to 5 in a row before Bill Ranford single-handedly rescued them with a shutout on Saturday night. Tonight, the Bruins return home for the first time in 17 days. Ironically, they'll face the same team that sent them packing on such a low note almost 3 weeks ago. This is a huge game for both teams. A quick check of the Adams Division standings shows the Bruins still in the thick of the battle for first place, while the Nordiques are desperately trying to hold off the hard-charging Buffalo Sabres for the final playoff berth. Tonight, the start of the stretch drive. It should be a good one. The answer to the question, who's hot? Well, Ray Bork. He has been for a long time. 33 points in his last 24 games. Just having a heck of a year. Steve Casper, too. 3 goals, 3 assists over the last 5 games. And Bill Ranford, or at least he sure was in his last start. That was the one against Minnesota when the North Stars launched 45 shots. And Ranford took care of each and every one of them for the 1-0 win. For the Nordiques, Irish John O'Grodnick, who has scored 2 and assisted on 5 in the last 6 games for Quebec. Peter Stastny, unselfish devil, passing out 9 assists over the last 6 games. And brother Antone, 3 goals and has assisted on 4 in his last 6. Yeah, this really is a big game for both clubs. Big in that the Nordiques all of a sudden now are getting a challenge for the Buffalo Sabres that they haven't had until a couple of weeks ago. And big for the Bruins, too. You have to use the rest of the season to get into playoff shape, into playoff form, and because it got to be a little down mentally after that awful road trip. A couple of the Bruins, Greg Johnston and Nevin Marquardt, talked a little bit about what it's going to take the rest of the way.
Well, divisional games are always important. Like, you look at them, they're 4-point games. We have Quebec here, which are playing with Buffalo and Buffalo right after. So we have to win both those games, keep them behind us, and make sure that they don't think that there's a chance, and let them fight it out. And we have to aim for the top 2 teams, Hartford and Montreal, so it's going to be good that way.
Every game's worth 4 points when you play in your division, and when it's in the last 5 weeks of the season, they're even more important. But we just have to approach each game one at a time and, really bear down for these home games. I think we have 9 home games left, so or 9 or 11 or something like that. So we've got to, really concentrate on these home games and try to see what we can steal in the other rinks.
Now, we'll be checking on the progress of that St. Louis-Buffalo game that's up at the Odd in Buffalo tonight from time to time, between periods and, again, during the replay after the game tonight. Both the Bruins and the Nordiques are going to be a little more than curious now every time the Sabres take the ice for the rest of the season. And that is our Bruins Digest for tonight, the Bruins Homecoming. I'm Tom Larson. Fred Cusick, Derek Sanderson, and Dave Shea will have the play-by-play call coming up. Bruins Digest is brought to you in part by Budweiser Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. And now stand by for Boston Bruins hockey.
I'm Tom Watson. I write for Golf Digest as a plane editor along with Jack Nicklaus, Tom Kite, and Bernhard Langer. We concentrate on offering you a level of professional instruction in print you just won't find anywhere else. Golf Digest brings you every shot in the game, every situation, every strategy, taught clearly and explicitly by the best teachers and players in the game. And remember this, Golf Digest instruction in print isn't like a lesson you listen to and hope you'll remember. You have it anytime to reread and refer to and review, to show to your partner and hide from your opponents. Whatever, it's yours to keep, and you'll use it.
Call toll-free 800-453-8500 for a year of Golf Digest, only $12.77, 46% off the newsstand price, and you'll receive as a bonus tips from the tour free. Call 800-453-8500 now.
Be a winner. Read Golf Digest.
14 seconds left. Way to Larson, over the line. Larson trying to move in. Off to Middleton. Shot, save. Score! Raymond Mark! 7 seconds left. And number 7 comes in. Middleton's rebound to tie it up for Boston. Peterson, a shot, tip, front. Score! The Bruins win it in overtime. Linsman wins for Boston 4-3. What a comeback for Terry O'Reilly and the Bruins.
This is Message, your New England sports network.
When the Boston Bruins knocked off the Toronto Maple Leafs at the Garden on February 7th, little did anyone realize that that win would be Boston's last for 2 weeks. Not until Bill Ranford turned aside 45 Minnesota shots last Saturday did the Bruins pick up any ground on their Adams Division rivals. But Ranford's effort has been the only post-All-Star break highlight for the Bruins. They completed the recent road trip with a woeful 1-5 mark and have now dropped 6 of 7 overall. culminating with last night's 6-4 loss to the first-place Whalers. The team that started the Bruins slide way back on February 8th, tonight's opponents, the Quebec Nordiques. Backed by the great goaltending of All-Star Clint Malarchuk, the Nordiques kept the game close and with time running out, put the game away.
Shot kick out save by Ranford. Another one. Scores! Mahler gets the goal. 1:27 left. A rebound as he fired from about 45 feet off on the right. And the Nordiques lead it 2-1.
Quebec's performance was reminiscent of the kind of play that carried them to a first-place finish in the Adams last year. But this season, the story has changed for Michel Bergeron's crew. Quebec now has to fight off the once dormant but now hard-charging Buffalo Sabres, while the Bruins, now 7 points behind Hartford, must use tonight's game as a stepping stone if they're to challenge for the top spot. Coming up next, the Boston Bruins beat the Quebec Nordiques, live from Boston Garden on NESN. Hello again, everybody. I'm Dave Shea. Welcome back to the Boston Garden, and that's what the Bruins are hoping, that they will be welcomed back tonight and use the home ice advantage to its fullest. Of course, the Quebec Nordiques have to feel pretty good about themselves coming in here tonight, not based on the way that they played recently. They've won only one of their last 5, while the Bruins have come up victorious just once in the last 7. But the Nordiques finally broke through on the Bruins the last time in, that 2-1 victory backboned by Malarchuk. The Bruins had won the first 4 meetings of the season. What has changed for the two teams since then? Well, for the Bruins, the line combinations have changed, but things may be on the upswing. Thomas Gradin has been felled for the last couple of weeks with a groin injury. He's back in the lineup tonight. That will establish a second scoring line, hopefully, and certainly will help the power play and the penalty-killing units. Now, for Quebec, well, Dale Hunter is back, and anytime you have Hunter, you have a guy that stirs the drink, so to speak. He makes them go, and he'll be a factor tonight. For a closer look at this game, let's go up to the booth right now with Fred and Derek.
Thank you, Dave. In the pregame, we talked about the position of the Boston Bruins, kind of solidly in third, possibility of second, and really that won't make too much difference. And Quebec, though, they're battling, so intensity could be a factor in this game. Quebec needs the win.
Quebec really needs it. They're struggling as well as the Bruins. The Sabres are coming on strong. Everyone, every day, they look in the paper, see how the other clubs in the division are doing. First place at this point is not out of the question, but it would be foolish to shoot for first place all the time. That gets psychologically tiring. What they have to do is get down to basics, and they have to play very solid defensive hockey and take the wins as they come. Go out and play period by period, and the wins come. They take care of themselves that way, and then the league standings takes care of themselves, and then it's not as emotionally draining as watching them every day and what happens.
What about resting players now down the stretch? Of course, you wouldn't do it if you're really battling for something. What about resting Ray Bourque? We touched on that before.
We did. Ray Bourque, he plays an awful lot of hockey. What it does is that playing that much ice time, it sets Ray Bourque up for making a couple more mistakes than someone who plays half the ice time. And that is difficult on Ray's confidence, but he's a pro and he can handle it. I really think Ray Bourque is probably one of the best defensemen in the league. And to rest him, you just can't afford not to have him on the ice at this point.
And looking at Quebec, of course, Michel Goulet, great two-way hockey player.
Michel Goulet is going to be an example tonight. If you do not watch this man, the Bruins are having difficulty on the opposing blue line. And the transition from offense to defense, if some winger or the centerman doesn't pick this man up and he hits that blue line in full stride, he'll turn circles around the defense that are standing up. Therefore, he forces them to give up the blue line, and that's where the Bruins are getting in trouble. They're not having that one man coming back. They're very intense forechecking, but no one's high in the slot looking to back up their lines, and that's what I mean by the basic fundamental hockey. Get back to that.
We always talk about Peter Stastny, whether he's playing well or whether you don't see him. And the last time in, Quebec won, and we didn't see Peter Stastny. But he's getting near playoff time now, and he's got things to compensate for.
Yep, you got to watch Peter Stastny. He can kill you at any time. He's so cute with the puck. He handles it well. And if Peter Stastny gets any room to play this game, he's dangerous at any time, Fred. So if he wakes up, he can get 4, 5, 6 points.
And then Dale Hunter, of course, back in action, and he's always an instigator.
Yeah, he's the heart of the Quebec Nordiques. He seems to give the courage to the players who don't play that physical. Dale Hunter is the type. He's the policeman out there, the John Ferguson, the Jay Miller type, and he instigates, and he's got a lot of talent. So he brings a lot of heart to this club, and I think Quebec's going to look to put it together with him back in the lineup.
In a way, he reminds me of Derek Sanderson in certain features.
Hey, he's a heck of a hockey player. He plays it hard-nosed, Fred. There's no doubt about Hunter's ability to play. You know, I just like to see him get picked up and taken physically, because if you don't take Dale Hunter physically, he's going to be bothering other players that's going to handle the puck for you.
Ken Linsman isn't playing that well, and he's kind of a focal point. I guess not playing well, he kind of reverts to maybe the little sneaky things that he used to do to try and compensate and maybe to stir things up.
Well, the frustration is awful big with Kenny. He's struggling. He wants to play a lot better than he is, and he's trying things out there and he's getting himself caught. He's taking chances. And at this point, you know, Kenny's a tremendously talented hockey player. He has to get, with the rest of the club, back to basic fundamental hockey. Make the play, sit in a high slot. That line, Crowder, Zimmer, and Linsman got in a lot of trouble, Fred. We counted up here, you know, 19 times. They were all three of them behind the goal line. You can't play like that.
We'll have the opening face-off in just a minute.
Howdy. Give me a light. Bud Light.
If you just ask for a light beer, you never know what you'll get.
Give me a light. Bud Light.
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, don't just ask for a light beer.
Give me a light. Bud Light.
Ask for Bud Light, because everything else is just a light.
Hi. Oh. Buy your friend a beer.
Fishing, hunting, camping. Outdoors Northeast, New England's largest sportsman show, March 4th through 8th at the Big E, West Springfield, Massachusetts.
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Texaco with Petrox detergent to help keep your car's power flowing. And by Nissan, who invites you to test drive the new Go Anywhere Pathfinder at your Nissan dealer now. And by Bud Light, the light beer with the first name and taste. Everything else is just a light. And by your Chevy dealers of New England. New Englanders choose more Chevys than any other cars and trucks. So start where more people end up. Hello again, everybody. The Quebec Nordiques in town tonight to play the Bruins' first game for the Bees here at the Garden since February 8th. And never will home cooking taste any better than tonight. At least the Brewers are hoping that is the case. Terry O'Reilly and John Cunniff trying to figure out how do we get things turned around. It's not time to push the panic button. Still 19 games left in the season, but psychologically, Derek, you'd like to see things start to turn for the better real soon.
Yeah, you don't, like I said, you lose a lot, your players lose a little confidence in you if you panic. Terry's not the type to panic, but right at this point he's very conscious of the fact that they're not playing well.
Well, Bill Ranford will be looking to come up with a similar effort that he put out in Minneapolis Saturday night. 45 save shutout, his third of the season. He's tied with Mike Liut in that department. Now Rene Rancourt and the Canadian and American national anthems.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing heart we see thee rise, the true north strong and free, from far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars
national anthems, and this crowd is ready for hockey at the Boston Garden. Terry Gregson, your referee for tonight's game. His linesmen, Ray Scapanello and Ron Finn. In the Quebec goal tonight, Clint Malarchuk, who put on quite a show his last time into the Garden. A 2-1 victory. His only mistake, a Keith Crowder shot from the right circle that fooled him in the first period, and after that, he was tremendous. Of course, at the other end of the ice, Bill Ranford was no slouch that afternoon. It took a screen shot by Randy Mahler to beat Ranford and the Bruins 2-1 that afternoon. Ranford played well on this recent trip. None better than the Saturday night performance against the North Stars, and they'll need another effort like that. We're set to go. First period action. Here's Fred.
Ken Linsman against Mike Eagles for Quebec. On the right wing, Anton Stastny. On the left, Basil McRae. And Quebec has it. Rochefort is on defense with Mahler. Mahler slides it out. Bork breaks it up. Miller is at left wing on this line. Miller across for Neely. And Neely collides quickly with McRae. And Anton Stastny is hurt. And let's see what's coming up.
Yeah, I didn't see anything. Did you, Derek? Was it Jay bumping into him?
I didn't catch anything quick. So it seems to be his face. So might have been a little stick up there. There's three of them, three bodies bumping around in there.
They're not calling the penalty according to the indication of Gregson, as Michel Bergeron is yelling at him. And maybe in that melee, as Miller got the puck, a stick, it's his own man, and so Gregson saw it.
So it's, yeah. Oh, there we go.
There
Occupational hazard.
Mike Eagles stick.
Get in the game. Come on, it's only a cut.
Of course, Bergeron trying to play the referee early in this one, screaming for a 5-minute penalty against Boston since it drew blood. Well, Michel's half right.
Well,
it was a stick that did draw blood, but...
Give it a 5, but give it Eagles.
Well, Anton headed for the dressing room for some repairs. And Michel still a little upset behind the Quebec bench. Watch the stick of Eagles being checked by Bork. Bang, right there.
Oh, that's smart. Could cost him a couple of chiclets.
And of course, I knew Jay was in the area, but I didn't mean to indict him.
Yeah, you did, right off the bat. You
guilt
did.
by association.
You did. I'll talk to Jay about that after the game.
We're underway, no penalty. Opening seconds, Rochefort trying to move it out, Bork trying to contain it, and back for it is Telvin. Now Linsman has to make a quick clear out. It is covered by Mahler. Mahler up into center ice and breaking with it McRae. McRae fires in. Donnelly has replaced Anton Stastny. Tries a hit on Bork, doesn't work. And here's Neely from Miller over the line. Back for Linsman, trying to break in. Can't connect. Neely fights for an open net. Jay Miller had an open net, but it was an aerial pass across from Neely. They came that close. Nobody in the net. And icing called against Quebec.
Boy, that Cam Neely gets a ton of respect out there. He backed off the goaltender. The goaltender tried to shoot it by him, and nobody took his body, and he gets a break. And Jay Miller just couldn't get a handle on it.
Heads up on Cam. He knew that Linsman had Malarchuk tied up and behind the net and fed it right out in front, but unfortunately the puck was airborne, and Miller couldn't bat it out of the air. That's something that Charlie Simmer is so good at, being able to handle that pass in the air with the shaft of the stick and get it back on net. Jay doesn't get that many opportunities, that much practice at it.
That's a tough break for him.
And now Peter Stastny out against Casper. The puck is faced, and Crowder in the corner fighting for it with Picard. Casper there too, and it's fed out center ice off Hunter. Oh, the sticks are all over the place. Larson, Hunter, everybody.
That was the trio hooked up there.
Oh,
you're not going anywhere, and Hunter's going, well, if I'm not going anywhere, Larson's going nowhere.
Look like Amtrak coming through center ice. Of course, Dale Hunter is back, so you know that there's going to be some hard times tonight.
Yeah, he'll be in something before the night's out.
He's as much a key to this Quebec club as anything. Stastny's non-existence for a lot of the season, but Hunter's absence with injury a big key.
Draw to Larson. Larson into Middleton. Middleton in front. And didn't connect. Twice the Bruins have missed in tight. That was Crowder right in there. Here's Goulet over the line. And the drop pass for Hunter. And they got three big men out there now. Quebec. Hunter, Goulet, and Peter Stastny. Here's Middleton for Larson. Larson taps it in. Siltanen able to take over. Quick pass up for Peter Stastny, who's winding up behind the net. Bergeron putting all his eggs in this big basket of a line here. Peter Stastny breaks with Hunter. A shot caught by Ranford. Dropped for Larson. Peter Stastny spilled, and out comes Casper. A lead for Johnston. Johnston broken up by Finn. And the puck cleared to the Boston line. And Boudelier starts it back. Boudelier snaps it in. And the save by Malarchuk. And the clear to Ogrodnik. Ogrodnik takes a hit from Marquardt. Lafreniere into center ice. The clear in. Wide. Cote battling forward around the boards. Ranford trying to clear it. Blocked. Floats in front to Ranford. A nice soft pass to Johnston. To Marquardt. To Johnston over the line. Looks for Foster, and that didn't work. Boudelier winding up. He's on defense with Tallene. Now Boudelier. Clearing in deep. Around the boards. Icing on the play. And we're in the first period with the score. Boston nothing, Quebec nothing. Bruins hockey will continue in a moment.
When all the Washington's birthday car and truck sales start to look the same to you, here's one thing to remember. Chevrolet. Because over the last 5 years, forget about Washington's birthday for a minute, over the last 5 years, New Englanders have bought more Chevys than any other cars and trucks. So this year, you can monkey around, or you can start where more people end up.
Start where more people end up. Chevy of New England.
The key to defensive play, in my belief, of this game is face-offs. So we'll keep an eye on the face-offs, Dave. We'll see how they go tonight, and possession is how we'll count them.
The Russians hardly won any.
Yeah, I know that. I know it's.
Really, everybody talked about it. Marc Messier set an all-time record for winning face-offs in that series. And
are you looking to blow my brains out, Fred? The Russians, they didn't win them, but the Canadians didn't keep it. See, that was the problem. You have to keep it once you win it. Now, that's a good face-off there.
Bruins win it around the boards for Neely. Neely starts it away, forced back a bit. Now weaves to center ice. A shot deflected wide. Mahler makes the quick clear out. Bounces to the Boston line. Calvin there. Bork out for hooking. As Eagles went down, and Boston will be shorthanded just about at the 3-minute mark.
See, Raymond went 19 games without a penalty. Had a roughing call last night and gets a hooking call here in the first 3 minutes of tonight's game.
They seem to come in a rash when you don't get many of them. Peterson did the same. He went quite a few games without a penalty and picked up 3 in that one night.
Sign of being tired, maybe.
Yeah, that's what they say. Now you're getting those little hooking and holding, and you get those penalties. It's mentally and physically tired.
Tremendous season Raymond Bork is having. 3rd in the league in assists, and he's right up near the top 10 in scoring. I think he's 12th or 13th leading defensive scorer.
You can't say enough about his ability to play this game, but this whole team has got to support him.
Siltanen, they like to set him up for a chance. Puck fed in deep, and Ranford trying to clear it out on the dasher. It's knocked away by Casper. All the way back. Siltanen starting to play again. And the clear in. Around the boards. Bounces away to Middleton, and a quick clear out for Casper. Casper able to clear it in the zone. Now out comes Siltanen. A lead for Peter Stastny, slowed down by Casper, who got a piece of him. Bruins trying to clear it, and they do. Not a very effective Quebec power play. Early in the game, that happens. Siltanen starts it now to John Ogrodnik. Ogrodnik off for Goulet, broken up by Johnston, and he clears. Foster and Johnston with Boudelier and Milbury. Boudelier bangs into Ogrodnik, gets it to Foster. Foster over the line with Johnston attacking. Checked by Siltanen. Checks Siltanen, battles in deep. Still tying it up on the boards and killing a lot of time. We're down to 40 seconds left on the Quebec power play. Siltanen starts it out. Pass blocked by Foster and a quick clear. No shots on Ranford yet. 30 seconds on the Quebec power play. Picard up for Hunter. Left wing side over the line, hit by Larson. They battle. It rolls near the net, right by the side of the net. And out of it comes Lafreniere. Back for Picard. For Lafreniere. Shot in front, blocked by Tillene. Cleared up and out by Boston. That'll do it. Excellent. Penalty killing by the Bruins. We're nearing the 5-minute mark. First period, no score. Picard. Clearing in. All the way around the board. Simmer able to tap it out. Racing for it. Linsman. But Rochefort got it. On the puck now. It's a pass for Larson from Milbury. And a Quebec player hurt. It's Rochefort, I believe.
Neely laid him out, Fred. It's Jason Lafreniere.
And with the score, Boston nothing, Quebec nothing. Bruins hockey will continue in a moment.
This is one of the world's most expensive motor oils. It meets or exceeds industry standards for protection against wear. So does Haviland. This motor oil exceeds car makers' warranty requirements. So does Haviland. This oil can cost more than twice as much as Haviland. Twice as much?
That's right, twice as much.
And I thought I did the jokes. Texaco's Haviland Supreme. High-quality protection without the high price.
Oh, Kenny Linsman thought he may let Rochefort outplay himself on the puck. Simmer held it up at the line, and there's Neely coming over to lay a wallop on Jason Lafreniere.
People may think that's a high stick, but Neely hit him with his shoulder. His stick was up, but it was behind him. That's a clean check.
On the face-off, Linsman battling for it, kicks it away to Talbot. Talbot misfired, trying to pass across to Ray Bourque. And Bourque has to start again. Stopped, Eagles with it, but Cote is offside. 14:40 left, first period, no score.
I think, Dave, you might see Bergeron double shift his Goulet-Eagles Huff line a couple of times. He's going to be in and out a lot, Goulet.
We'll be talking to Michel Goulet between periods 1 and 2. He's really had to carry the offensive chores on his shoulders. Stastny been injured and ineffective even when he was playing. Hunter out for 2 months.
Rochefort with it, out from Waller up to Eagles. Away on the right side to Cote and into the Boston end. Kelvin, Neely trying to move it out. Play checked by Eagles. Snap back in deep. And Bourque is on it. A long lead pass. Neely fell down as he tried to reach it, cleared it over the line, but Rochefort has control. Rochefort winding up, gets away from Simmer, and his pass struck a teammate, bounces back in the Quebec zone, cleared away quickly by Mahler, and this will be icing. Quebec would have been in Boston last night, a chance to see the Bruins game in Hartford, but they wouldn't have learned a thing.
No. No, they wouldn't have learned much. I think Quebec's got to forget about the way they've been playing, too. They can't come out and play the opponent. They have to get their act together themselves, Fred. They're really struggling, too.
One change Terry O'Reilly has made for tonight's game. He had broken up Linsman, Simmer, and Crowder, had them on different lines. Tonight he has Simmer and Linsman back with Neely. The feeling is that Charlie needs to have his centerman and right winger going to be effective, to find those open spots. The other two create the initial opportunities. Charlie gets in position for the gravy. But there hasn't been much gravy because there hasn't been much initial offense from any of the lines. And so Terry hoping that Cam can give Kenny Linsman a little boost, and the two of them can get Charlie back on track.
DeLego is at center with Foster. Face off to the left. That's Bill DeLego, ex-Bruin, ex-several teams now. Around the boards, Milbury. Marquardt trying to keep it in, but it is broken up. And back comes DeLego for a backhander, and that's the first test on Ranford. Good stop. And away comes Larson with Johnston. Larson, hard drive in. And the save by Malarchuk. Winding up is Finn. Half stolen by Foster. Foster flips it in. Battles for it. Trying to keep it in to Marquardt. Marquardt behind the net. Trying to make the play. Stopped by DeLego. DeLego clears it out. He has Huff on the right wing and Grodnik on the other side. And DeLego steals over the line, in for a shot. Block, gets it again. Shot, save! Ranford able to cover it up, and Bill DeLego, who did very little as a Bruin, doing it all here for Quebec.
Oh, Reed Larson didn't get all of this clearing pass, and it created a 3-on-2, almost a 3-on-1 situation.
Well, the clearing pass, he peeks up the boards a bit, and he sees the left winger there, Mark Barton, and he says, well, I'm going to dump it to him. A little traffic there. He didn't get to see the Quebec player in between them. So that's a little dangerous. Make sure you've got to bear down on those. This sneaks out behind Ranford, and that could have been dangerous, too.
Bork on the draw, winding up the center, connects with Middleton, over the line. A shot blocked partially by Siltanen. Middleton fights to keep it in. With Crowder, he does. Middleton fell down, though. And let's see what Gregson's calling here. Face-off. Might have fallen on the puck.
Well, one good sign, the Bruins are working hard coming out tonight. A little bit difficult coming home after a long trip, because even though it's your home rink, you haven't seen it in a while, and it takes a little while to get used to it again, doesn't it?
Yeah, Dave, you're right. We were talking about that earlier. This ice is going to be a little different, having come out of, Disney World. Having been in here for 10 days or so, the texture is different, so it's not like coming home to a park, to an arena you're used to.
On the draw, Bruins fight to keep it in. Goulet trying to knock it out. Fed in by Crowder. Middleton is hit, though, in the corner. And the Nordiques swing it out. Peter Stastny over the line. Fell down. Kelvin back. Off for Casper. Deflects in deep. Out of the net, Malarchuk. Cleared it around. Kelvin able to stop it. Pops one in over the head of Malarchuk on a high shot. Peter Stastny trying to clear it out. Broken up by Bork. Bork feeds it in right into Malarchuk. Off the side of the net, he ties it up at a face-off call.
Once again, Fred, to continue the story about the ice surface, it shouldn't be that big a difference. I mean, it's just a case in point that it is a little difficult to get going after you're playing so bad. I mean, you're not looking for excuses for them, but they should definitely be carrying it to Quebec, and they are so far.
Bill Ranford and I had a chance to talk yesterday. He wasn't playing last night. We spent quite a bit of time at the rink after the morning practice. He says, you know what the tough part about the Garden is? Playing your angles. You think you're out far enough, but because the ice surface is so small, you're really back closer to the net than you think.
It's true.
The draw to Rochefort. Scoreless game. Almost 8 minutes played. And Eagles with a break up the middle. Passes off on the right, and Anton Stastny back after being cut accidentally by Eagles, his teammate. Back at right wing now. And Boudelier able to clear it out. Mahler with it. Rochefort chased back by Neely. It's up to McRae. An errant pass. Neely keeps it in. Neely trying to get it away to Boudelier. It goes to Linsman. A shot. Save. Rebound there. Simmer was upended heavily by Rochefort. Boy, he paid a price to try and go in and get that rebound, and it came out beyond him. Right back comes Anton Stastny for Eagles. Eagles broken up by Neely. Neely away to Simmer. Simmer with Linsman coming up behind him. Goes for the shot. A save, Malarchuk. A good one. Oh, penalty there. He held it, ran all over the place with it. Penalty should be coming up on Malarchuk. And a break in the action. Let's pause for this message.
If you just ask for a light beer, you never know what you'll get.
Thoughts? No, actually, Bud Light.
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, ask for Bud Light.
Yours? No.
Because everything else...
Give me a light.
Showtime!
...is just a light.
Well, the Nordiques aren't happy with this delay of game call, but watch as Malarchuk gloves it. Now he has a chance to play it. Nope, not there. Going to play it over here. Nope, still not pressured. Still has a hold of the puck.
But when he gets out there, Dave, the shot from Simmer broke his stick. He realized that when it popped up into his glove, the shot was much lower than it looked to be. And then he runs around, and he's going to drop it and shovel it to his forward, but he says, I got no stick. And he held onto it that step too long. But he's got no stick. He doesn't want to give up the puck, so he got caught in the in-between. That was a little bit of a break for the Bruins there.
Delay a game penalty, power play. Kelvin took a half a second too long in that slap shot.
Could have been a second and a half too long.
Second and a half, yeah.
You wind up, Fred, and any time, and you kids out there watching this game, to wind up for the big shot, an opposing player could stick a stick out and cover 8, 9 feet at the time it takes you to take it back and tee it up. It is amazing how much ground you can cover when when you see an opponent wind up, you can cover, get a stick on and put it in the stands like picking cherries.
And the draw this time is cleared away by the Nordiques. Robert Picard. Bork winding up, power play for Boston. Crowder, a good play at the red line, able to clear it in. Malarchuk handling it. Off for Shaw, around the boards, cleared out. And the Bruins have to regroup. The line is Middleton left wing, Casper center, Crowder right wing with Telvin and Bork. Bruins badly need a power play score. They'll take one even strength, but power play would be something. Mahler pins Casper in deep. Crowder battling for it. In the corner. Telvin going in. Heavy action. Middleton over to join in. There are 4 men in there now. Middleton trying to come out with it. Put it in front. He does. Middleton, a shot. Save Malarchuk. Big stop. And the puck to Telvin. Over to Bork. A shot. And that rattled off the post to the right of the side of the net. Bork fakes. Cote gives it to Casper.
As hard-working and as pretty a goal as you're going to see. That tremendous poise out there. Bork held it. Middleton made the play. Hard work in the corner. That power play had it all. Heads-up play here by Bork. Makes the play across to Casper, who dumps it out to Telvin, who just drills it home.
Not a moment too soon, as Cote was on top of Telvin just after he released the puck. Great move by Bork. He knew that shot would have been blocked if he followed through. Wisely held on. That power play was made by the fact that everybody was moving. Nobody standing.
Very true, Dave. That's exactly what makes a power play work. You have the one uncovered body. If everybody's moving, then no one is covered. Standing still in a power play will negate it 9 times out of 10. It's so easy to kill a penalty when the offense is not moving the puck around. A tremendous goal.
Cote had lost his stick trying to block that shot then on Bork. That didn't work, and Bork made the super play. Peter Stastny right back, teams at full strength, gets it into Goulet. He's broken up by Larson. Larson for Foster. Foster played it back in the zone, and Quebec still moving now, keeping it in. The centering pass in front blocked, and Foster breaks it out. This time Milbury up for Johnston. Over for Marquardt, but Foster was pushed offside.
Belted offside.
You know what, Fred? I think Lane Cote was burned that time for being a nice guy. Randy Mahler had lost his stick in the corner in entanglement with Casper, and Cote felt, hey, it's better that Mahler have a stick. I can chase without one out front, but as soon as he gives Mahler the stick, all of a sudden, bang, he's in a position where he has to guard Telvin. He doesn't have the stick, and Telvin gets rid of the shot.
And that's the key to the whole play.
How about a wrist shot by Telvin?
Well, Fred, I am so glad you said I didn't want to be repetitive, but this time he didn't wind up. He snapped a quick little shot, got it away, and a goal is the result. Getting that puck away quick before Malarchuk has time to set is what beats most National League goaltenders.
Boudelier clears it in. Takes a hit from Finn over on the boards, and Shaw has it behind the net. 1-0 Boston, 9:43 left in the first period. Long pass, bounces center ice over the line for Agrodnik. The shot blocked wide by Boudelier. Cote fighting to keep it in. Lindsman has it. Lindsman, a lead for Neely. Bouncing puck. He's ready for the hit from Finn. He gave Finn as much as Finn gave him in a battle and cleared it in, and Shaw with it. Back for Finn. Up the boards. Agrodnik tipped it away, but it's covered by Tallene. Tallene lost it. Kept in now by Gallego. On the boards. Neely there. Neely for Tallene. Tallene trying to get away from Gallego. Up the boards, and it bounces away to Neely. He carries out. Oh, a hit by Lindsman on Shaw. That opens some ice for Neely. Lindsman is hitting everything. Lost his stick. He's grabbing one. Kent Lindsman is showing himself here. And,
that's the kind of hockey you got to get out of Kenny Lindsman.
Aggressive, mean at times. And here's Middleton over the line. Middleton going deep, trying to cut in front. It might be Casper, or Middleton may have gotten it as it deflected off Malarchuk.
I don't think it got to Stevie, but the way they're congratulating him, he must have gotten a stick on it.
I don't think Stevie knows he got it yet.
Middleton fed it in, out from behind the net. I thought Malarchuk went down and tried to block it with his stick, and may have.
Well, we'll see in a second.
Middleton makes the play. A great rush.
A lot of the play had to do with Linsman running around. It got Quebec quite disorganized. They never did regroup from it. So Kenny got off the ice, doesn't get a plus, but it's a big play.
Middleton.
It never got to Casper, but Middleton the score. 2-0 Boston. Into center ice, batted away, and McRae with it. Wraps it over the Boston line. Bork trying to move it out. Can't. What for? Telvin trying to clear it away. McRae is checked. Telvin gets it. Out now to Middleton. Middleton has a hot hand. Gets it off now to Bork. He's in! And the shot goes wide. Try to slide it in the corner. As Middleton sent him in alone. And back comes Mahler for a shot wide of Ranford. In to get the rebound. Anton Stastny. Intercepted by Casper. Casper carries it out and clears it in wide of Malarchuk. 2-0 Boston. That last score by Rick Middleton. The first a power play. Rushing Siltanen. Up for Peter Stastny. Broken up. With it, Foster. Away now to Marquardt with Johnston. Over the line they go. Drop pass for Larson. Larson trying to move in. Can't do it. And out it comes center ice. Cleared by Peter Stastny. Over the line. It is Peter Carring. He's in deep. He goes behind the net. Still circling. Stops. Cuts the other way. Passes in front. And an injured player.
Goulet.
Goulet is down. Don't know. Caught a stick apparently. And the whistle by Gregson. And with the score, Boston 2 and Quebec nothing. Bruins hockey will continue in a moment.
If you are a dark-haired girl in a bright red dress, I will steal you away. If you are an ancient cathedral, I will capture you instantly. If you are an explosion of brilliant flowers, I will catch you. And I will keep you, all of you, in all the splendor of your glorious colors. The amazing new Polaroid Spectra system. Polaroid, we take your pictures seriously.
Well, Michel Goulet apparently all right. Caught by a stick apparently of Mike Milbury as Terry Gregson has called Milbury for high sticking. That's the bad news. The Bruins go shorthanded. The good news is that there was no blood, and so it's not 5 minutes. It's just 2.
And the better news is it was a penalty, maybe a little bit of a high stick. But Goulet was out front all alone, and Stastny handling the puck so well, had the Bruins running a little bit. If Stastny had to been knocked down, he would have been all alone in front. So.
Michel Bergeron, as always, giving that gum a vicious workout.
Yeah, well, typical.
That gum has to be exhausted by the end of the game.
Typical Frenchman, very theatrical.
Telvin, the first score, power play from Bork and Casper. The second score, Middleton from Casper. So Steve had 3 points last night, 2 already tonight. Middleton had 2 goals. Power play here, McRae in deep. Check. Colleen puts a grab on. Peter Stastny back to Siltanen. Cross for Goulet playing the left point. Around the boards. Tallene gets it up. Casper there. Back for Tallene. Can't clear it out. He hit a Grodnik. For Peter Stastny. Shot. Save. Ranford just got it. Knocked it wide. The pressure still on the power play. McRae is hit by Bork. Cleared around the boards. Siltanen able to keep it in. Losing to Tallene. Tallene trying to wrap it out. Siltanen just kept it in. A real threat here. Off from McRae. McRae hit hard by Bork. Now in deeper, it's Peter Stastny operating behind the net. Tallene trying to get to him. Tallene checking it hard. Peter gets it now, though. He's trying to put it in front. Goes back to Siltanen. A screaming shot, a save, and the rebound. And it's blocked in front as Grodnik had a great chance. Big stop on Siltanen by Ranford. 55 seconds left. Quebec power play 2-0 Boston. Siltanen comes skipping into the zone. Clears it in deep. Ranford makes the play himself. And Foster able to clear it out. 5:47 left, first period. Bruins lead 2-0. Michael Telvin a power play, and Rick Middleton, the second scorer. A great rush down the left wing side. Third goal in 2 games for Middleton. A lead over the line for DeLego. Larson is there trying to wrap it out. Blocked by Lafreniere. Poked in deep. Lafreniere behind the net. Centering pass. DeLego can't get it. Bounces loose. And a whistle for a face-off as Lafreniere is challenged by Boudelier.
Attaboy, Paul. That's exactly what Paul Boudelier should be doing in that case. Get them away from Ranford as he's trying to cover up that rebound.
Anytime you got a bouncing puck up there, you know, take the body. You've got to take the body, clear him out of there, get away from all the commotion. The save was made right here, and it's still there, and Larson ends up taking him. But now it's going to, you know, Ranford cupped it. He grabbed it, but the thing Boudelier's got to do is get Lafreniere out of there.
Boy, Risto Siltanen. You know, they sent him down for a short while because he hadn't been doing a whole lot on the power play, and that's the only reason he's on this club, to produce on the power play. The other night, 2 goals, 2 assists on the power play in a 5-4 win over Minnesota, and he's picked right up where he left off the other night. That was a booming shot from that point. Good save by Ranford.
Yeah, pack a suitcase, you know, shake him up a little bit. You haven't got this club, you know, made. It's not a cinch.
Alan
work every
Peterson
night in this game.
Missing with the flu.
Yeah,
Alan
he's
Peterson out.
He's awful sick. I was talking to Alan before the game. His heart was in it to play, but the body just wouldn't respond.
Bork trying to clear it, can't. Middleton tries it. On the boards, he makes a flip, but into the stands in the faceoff in the Boston zone. 8 seconds left on the second Quebec power play. 5:14 left, first period. 2-0 the Bruins.
You know, Fred, you mentioned Peterson. You know, you get the flu, and you get that time off, and you get the rest. You put the legs up, and you stay out of action for a few days and get your strength back. Well, it could be a blessing in disguise. Peterson come back healthy and to get that little time off. Kind of a little rest in disguise there.
I'm all for a rest.
Reed Larson also has the flu. He's playing tonight. They both called in sick this morning. Both tried it before the game, and apparently Reed felt well enough to go.
Geez, they told me one time I phoned in sick. They said if you're not dying, you're not going to the Mass General. Get in here.
The Bruins able to clear it on the faceoff. That'll just about kill the penalty. Milbury is back. Over the line comes Goulet. The pass in front, knocked away quickly by Mats Thelin. He's on defense with Ray Bork. Now Boston at full strength. Bork with it behind the net. That's Hunter in front, checking. Thelin clears it out, intercepted by Picard. Shot right back in. Save, rebound, Thelin. Matt's trying to move it up the boards. Can't do it. Hunter checked by Bork, and Neely winding up. Chased by Hunter. Drops it off, but it's Goulet right there to get it. And he made a pass, and Thelin has it. And now Simmer clears it out. Simmer gets it again. Can't send Neely in. And a hit at center ice, and it's Linsman going out now, as he has been very chippy of recent date. With the score, Boston 2, Quebec nothing. Bruins hockey will continue in a moment.
Four by fours came in lots of shapes and sizes this year, but only one was named Best 4x4 of the Year. Nissan Pathfinder, honored by both four-wheel and off-road and four-wheeler magazines.
Best of the year in on- and off-road performance. Best of the year for interior comfort and function.
Award-winning ride, toughness, and style found in Pathfinder and every 4x4 we make. The 4x4 of the Year is Pathfinder. The name is Nissan.
Oh, Kenny Linsman tried to break up Robert Picard and wanted to make sure Picard didn't get back in the play. Broke his stick on Picard and then put a grab on him. Not much need to do that. But
goodbye. Goodbye. See you in a couple minutes.
15:34, time of the holding penalty on Linsman.
And Quebec is using DeLego. He's had more shots on Ranford than anybody. Bill DeLego, who was sent to the minors recently. All back up now. He's centering Grodnick, Lafreniere. Finn playing a position at the point. And Shaw the other. They're using 2 defensemen. Grodnick trying to move it in. It's blocked and goes to center ice. Grodnick slides it in, and Larson breaks it up. Gives it off to Foster, and Foster clears into the penalty box. 4:02 left. First period, 2-0 Boston.
On a very sad note, a great Bruin fan and a generally great fan of hockey, Marv Pearlstein, passed away earlier this week. Great supporter of youth hockey. In fact, he was a big supporter of the
Metro Boston League. He did.
Right.
He contributed to the Milton Youth Hockey, the Hombres, which is an elite club. And you know, our condolences to his family, his two boys, Britt and Jeffrey, and his wife Judith. Not enough to be said. We lose a good man like that. It's a shame.
Marv played in the same group I played in last year at the Levier golf tournament. Fine man.
Over the line, Cork getting it, swings away from Goulet with a fine play, gets it out to center ice, and Casper rushes on Silverman. Going deep, now drops it for Celine, shot, and a save. Malarchuk, a big one. And back in front, Casper trying to put it in front, and Malarchuk finally ties it up. And Matt Celine will never get a better opportunity for a short-handed goal or a goal at even strength.
Well, Matt's had enough presence, if I may steal your
my word
phrase, enough presence to get up in the play. Raymond Bourque will start the play out.
It's a great little ricochet there. A good break for the Bruins. Heads up by Stevie Casper. Waits for the late man. And Celine, let's not wind up. You know, you give him time to set. If he had snapped it off, he could have caught Malarchuk moving. You know, easy to say. It's very tempting when you really want to power a shot by somebody. Then it's a case of just missing the goaltender. But he gave him that extra time to move out and shut off whatever he had to see. Snapped that a quick wrist shot, and it could have been in the net.
1:10 left on the power play. Shaw rushes. Fires in. Ranford can't block it. Milbury gets it up for Foster. Foster away to Larson, and Larson able to clear it out. This is the third Quebec power play. Bruins scored on a power play by Telvin. Peter Stastny now starts it back for Goulet, and it's broken up at the line by Milbury to Foster, and Foster drops it in the Nordique zone. Winding up is Siltanen with that thundering shot from the point. They like to set him up, and he wraps this one in all the way around. Middle and trying to clear it out, can't, and it's kept in by a Grodnik. Grodnik, Siltanen in for Peter. His pass, Siltanen check. Bruins miss it, but Larson finally gets it. Milbury had missed it, but Larson is able to clear it in the Nordique zone. Siltanen winding up, 15 seconds on the Nordique power play, 2:40 left first period. In the center ice comes Dolego. Over the line, trying to go in himself, can't do it. Celine playing a lot of hockey tonight. He's back to clear it. He's paired with Ray Bourque basically on defense. And the penalty is up. Bruins have killed off 3 Nordique power plays. Finn rushing now. His pass stopped by Simmer. Can't set up Neely. Dolego back on the right wing side. Play broken up by Matt Celine. Now Finn starts it back with McRae. The clear in wide of Ranford. Celine first on it. Ooh, nobody could handle that one. Too high and hard for Simmer. And back for it, Mahler. And icing call, 1:54 left. First period, 2-0 the Bruins. Be with us Saturday for great college basketball action as Nesson brings you games 3 and 4 of the Colonial Athletic Association quarterfinals. Live action begins at 7. That's CAA basketball live right here on Nesson.
Did that great, Fred. How come you didn't let me read it? Dave wasn't here.
You were about to read it. Almost. You came close.
Don't trust me yet, eh? With the commercials.
Eagles with Huff on the left wing and Cote on the right wing. Linsman on the draw. Maybe Linsman's best hockey is when he's mean and chippy.
No, when he's aggravated.
When he's aggravated.
Kenny knows he's not playing as well as he can, and he's just second-guessing himself a little bit.
Mahler the shot, the save by Ranford. And remember Mahler's shot that won a game on a rebound. The puck all the way down to Malarchuk. Clears it. Simmer there. Going to come out of the corner. Does. Off for Neely. Neely is pinned by Mahler. Fought for. Simmer is knocked down by Rochefort. Looks at Gregson, who doesn't make a call. And Boudelier breaks up the play. Snaps it back in the Nordique zone. 2-0 the Bruins as Rochefort up for Huff. Huff to Cote. Can't get it. Simmer back. Play checked, and Simmer gets a return hit this time as he tagged Huff. Lindsman almost stole and Rochefort and moved in alone. Over the line, Crowder. For Lindsman, cutting in, back for Crowder, in front, shot, save, Malarchuk, a beauty. Great rush by Crowder. Shot by Milbury, scores! Deflected in, out of the way. Mike Milbury makes it 3-0 Boston.
Hard work, Fred, just strictly hard work. The Bruins are back. They're working hard together. Doesn't matter who gets it, as long as they go in. Milbury get it? Did Mike get one? Nice play there by Keefe. Just kind of stayed on his stick a little bit. Milbury stays on the blue line. It hits a foot. And now Malarchuk, when you got a goaltender moving, it's tough to handle.
Lindsman.
All right, that's what Kenny needed maybe to get himself going, is to get one. Best way to get going, I always believe, was the fluke. Hits his foot, just some hard work. He's in front of the net. Anytime you got somebody in front of the net, it's a potential goal.
Ken Lindsman, it hit his right foot, deflected. And O'Reilly talking to Gregson now, somewhat heatedly. Oh, it's just a matter of line changes. He wanted to put Miller out there, so he's not going to get really tied up over that. Milbury clears it away. It is 3-0 Boston. Milbury will have one assist. Jay Miller is out now. Clears it in. Going for it. Crowder and Miller starts to fight. Over in the corner with Donnelly. Jay Miller has been out there about 10 seconds.
Well, he sent Donnelly out there. He sent him out there for that purpose, to shake up that line. Terry got the late change in. And that's all Donnelly was looking to do, is to jump somebody. So you got to get your tough guy out there. And that's what they've done. I tell you, I would not want to fight Jay Miller at any time. He's the type of kid you never put away. No matter how many times you do get a lot of lucky punches in to hit him, you're not going to put him away. I haven't seen Miller knocked off his feet yet. Tough man to ever have to fight. At no time do you get tired out there, and the second guy gets the feel that the other player's sagging. Miller will take advantage of that. Got some punches in late. It was just basically a wrestling match early.
And here's McRae ready to go at Miller. And that could be a penalty for McRae if Gregson wants to call it.
Jay will fight anybody. That's foolish. Try to take him on. You're not going to get discouraged. You've got a lot of heart.
Well, I tell you, last night he shook the Bruins up as he took on Semenko, or Semenko and he tangled. Yeah. And that brought a little spirit in, a little more aggressiveness by the team.
Jay Miller has a role to play. He's the first one not to deny it, and it's an important role. And he gives a lot of heart and courage to this hockey club.
Boston in front 3-0. That goal by Lindsman from Milbury, and maybe one other assist, possibly Keith Crowder. 1902, that's a big
goal. You know where the big move came was killing that late penalty, Fred. They killed that penalty off, you know, and that set it up. And then they get if it's 2-1, it's a different ballgame. Now it's 3-0. Quebec's got a long uphill climb. The way the Bruins are playing, I think they're in serious trouble.
Out of this, though, Boudelier gets an extra 2 minutes.
No, that's Donnelly.
Oh, I'm sorry, Donnelly.
Right, for instigating. And that's what they did, Fred. Same number, you know, so.
Well, that's to get Quebec going, as Miller got Boston going last night.
That's
I mean,
why
what
Terry
else is...
fought for the change so much, that you want to make this change. What are you doing? And that's a coach is sharp. Terry's right on top of that. Got him in there. Donnelly starts something with Jay, and now he's got the extra 2 going for him in the next period.
What happened is Gregson wouldn't let him put Miller out at the face-off, but as soon as the puck was dropped, he got Miller out there.
And that's what he was fighting about. As soon as you realize it's close enough, drop it, and I'm going to send him right out there. So
Bruins with a power play already. Power play goal, and Bork is over the line. Moving in deep. Drops it back for Telvin. Telvin in for Bork, can't get it. Casper with it. For Bork, uncovered on the right wing corner. Bork playing up forward.
Somebody's got to move, Fred. Somebody's got to move.
Casper around the boards. 23 seconds left. Back from Middleton, covering for Bork. In front. Rolls for Bork. Can't quite get it. And it is knocked away and carried out by Eagles. Eagles. Checked by Telvin. They battle in deep. Bork with it. Away to Talbot. Time will run out in the period. And that's it. The period ends, but a good one for the Boston Bruins. A power play goal. 2 other scores. A nice deflection for Linsman. And Boston impressive. After the first period, the score, Boston 3 and Quebec nothing. And coming up in our first intermission, a live interview with Quebec Nordiques star Michel Goulet. That and more with Tom Larson, as Nesson will continue with this coverage after this message.
Dear, the birds have gone south. It's time we joined them.
Well, you should fit right in.
I am looking at the travel deal of the century.
Can we afford this?
I'll talk to my banker. Hello, I'd like a loan. I'm sure we can arrange that. How long will it take? How fast can you write?
With Fleetline, you've got the money. What you do with it is up to you.
Well, you sure handled that banker, honey.
Money in my hands.
Stay out in front with Fleet.
15 seconds left. Way to Larson, over the line. Larson trying to move in. Off to Middleton. Shot saved. Score! Raymond! 7 seconds left. And number 7 comes in. Middleton's rebound to tie it up for Boston. Peterson, a shot, tipped, front. Score! The Bruins win it in overtime. Linsman wins for Boston 4-3. What a comeback for Terry O'Reilly and the Bruins.
I'm Tom Watson. I write for Golf Digest as a plane editor along with Jack Nicklaus, Tom Kite, and Bernhard Langer. We concentrate on offering you a level of professional instruction in print you just won't find anywhere else. Golf Digest brings you every shot in the game, every situation, every strategy, taught clearly and explicitly by the best teachers and players in the game. And remember this, Golf Digest instruction in print isn't like a lesson you listen to and hope you'll remember. You have it. Anytime to reread and refer to and review, to show to your partner and hide from your opponents. Whatever, it's yours to keep, and you'll use it.
Call toll-free 800-453-8500 for a year of Golf Digest, only $12.77, 46% off the newsstand price, and you'll receive as a bonus tips from the tour free. Call 800-453-8500 now.
Be a winner. Read Golf Digest.
Well, good first period for the Bruins. They really needed something like to come out in a 3-goal lead after that road trip, and that's what they have. The end of the first period, the Bruins 3 and Quebec nothing. Nesson's intermission guest here at the end of the first period, one of the stars of the National Hockey League, Quebec's Michel Goulet. So back to the Garden and Dave Shea. David?
Thank you, Tom. Michel, we could have picked a better time to have you as a between-periods guest, but we do appreciate you stopping by. It's not been easy for anyone since the All-Star break, with the exception of the team trying to catch you guys, Buffalo.
Yeah, well, I think after the All-Star game there, we kind of off, especially offensively. We don't score too many goals, and that's why, we can win hockey games.
Last time in, it was a low-scoring affair. Malarchuk had a great game. A 2-1 win, though, your first against the Bruins this season. I would think that would have boded well for being up psychologically for this.
Yeah, I think we played a very strong hockey game the last time we were here, and I know Clint is a big part of our success. He's a pretty good goalie, and, we thought the Bruins played last night, so maybe we're going to have time to catch him in this game.
You've had to pretty much carry the offensive load yourself this season. Peter has been out off and on, and even when he's been playing, he hasn't been Peter Stastny, and of course Dale Hunter out for 2 months. How have you held up under the pressure of having to score all the time?
Yeah, well, it's kind of hard for me this year. I usually play with Dale for the last 7 years, so I miss him a lot, especially when you're out for 3 months like that. And you can see, Dale is not 100% ready, but he wants to play, and hopefully we're going to be in the playoff and try to surprise some team.
Well, a year ago, Quebec did not have to worry about the 4th playoff spot. They were worried about winning the division, which they did. But then you were bushwhacked by that Hartford club in the opening round. It just hasn't been the same for you folks since.
No, I think Hartford played very well since the playoff last year, and I think they have a very good team. We're a very well-balanced team, and it's going to be hard against this year, but, hopefully our goal this year is, try to make the playoff, and after, we'll see what happens.
All right, there's a handful of games left, 16, 17, 18, depending on which team in the division it is. What do you guys try to do the rest of the way now, Michel?
Well, we're going to try to win the game against our division. I think, it's a key game against Buffalo, two game next weekend against Buffalo back-to-back, and, that's where maybe we're going to see who's going to make the playoff.
All right, Michel, good luck to you and good health to you. I'm glad you didn't get cut up.
Thank you.
Michel Goulet, our guest. Let's go back to Tom.
All right, David, some guests on Bruins hockey on Nesson receive a gift from Hellbros, the new tradition in time. See Hellbros quartz watches at leading stores and catalog showrooms. And it's 3-0 Bruins at the end of the first period. Coming up on Saturday here on Nesson, a battle for bragging rights within the city in college hoops as BU takes on Northeastern. Ron Perry and Joe Castiglione have our report. Joe?
Thanks very much, Tom. Well, here at the Walter Brown Arena, the BU Terriers rolled over Siena 71-50 as the Terriers put on a clinic, Ronnie Perry, in a game which Mike Jarvis might even have to admit was close to perfection.
Well, we talked to him after the game, and he was smiling. Only word he could think of is we really executed in this one. Right from the opening whistle, first 9 points of the game, a big 15-point run in the second half, and they did it with aggressive defense, Joe, some fine shooting and limiting the hot shooting players for Siena, or at least coming into the game, it was all BU.
BU controlled inside, and they also were effective from outside as Drederick Irving, who had 21 points, resulted with 15 from three-point land, hitting 5 of them.
He enjoyed the new rule in college basketball this year from 19 feet 9 inches. He was effective, and he did it when Siena went to the zone, opened up things outside because Hendricks and Jones had been effective inside, got both of those combinations going, and BU was very tough to stop.
BU played some very strong defense. They held Dwight Walton to 4 points and Matt Brady, the leading scorer for Siena, to just 6 points, and did the job inside, led by the glue man of this team, Paul Hendricks, who became the 3rd all-time leading scorer in BU history.
He's been Mr. Consistency this year for BU. Double figures in 24 of 25 games with shots like this one. This one just happened to be a record breaker for him, moving him into number 3 position all-time at BU.
Hendricks wound up with 18 points, but the regular season not over yet, though BU has clinched the home court for the first round of the playoffs Saturday. They've got a date right here at Walter Brown with the Northeastern Huskies. BU lost by just 3 points at Matthews Arena here on Nesson 2 weeks ago to Northeastern, and this time the Huskies will not have their star Reggie Lewis.
Oh, and that's a major loss when you lose the likes of Reggie. An outstanding career at Northeastern. I think the game Saturday is a confidence game. Northeastern's got a lock on number 1 in the ECAC North, but heading into the playoffs next week, I think there's a little bragging rights in the city that wants to be settled Saturday, and the winner of that game could pick up some confidence for next week.
Over the last 2 years, BU is 22-1 at home here under Mike Jarvis. That one loss was to, you guessed it, Northeastern.
Well, Northeastern has spoiled a few teams' records. Right now, BU is on another roll at Walter Brown, 14 wins in a row at Walter Brown, 10 in a row this year. Mike Jarvis was very confident at the end of the game, and his team is playing very well. I think we're in for a good one on Saturday.
BU and Northeastern coming up here Saturday afternoon, immediately following Boston Bruins hockey. Now we return you to Bruins activity, and once again, here's Tom Larson.
All right, Joe, we'll take a look at highlights from that first period in a moment and then check in with Fred Cusick and Derek Sanderson for some analysis on the game so far. In a moment, and then Bruins hockey continues on Nesson. A score, Bruins 3 and the Nordiques 0.
No way this guy's gonna beat me. Not today. My serve is booming. A forehand, just like Connor's. Come on, backhand. I read all about psyching out guys like this, and it works. It's really a pretty easy game when you get the right help. This guy's gonna be lucky to get more than 2 games off me. Get a year of tennis for only $9.97, less than half the newsstand price. Call 800-228-4420. You'll also get our free booklet with tips to improve your game. Call 800-228-4420.
Dixieland in the morning on WPLM FM.
Sunshine for much of the day today.
Boston beat New York 2-0.
Every midday on WPLM FM 99.1.
You're going to be hitting delays if you're heading from Boston to the Cape. WPLM's nighttime sound. The radio voice from America's hometown.
So our score at the end of the first period, the Bruins 3 and the Nordiques nothing, and one of these teams needs to come out with a couple of points tonight. They both need to get back on track. Let's get a look at some of the action from the first period. Bill Ranford in goal again for the Bruins tonight, fresh from that 45-save shutout he had against the North Stars last week. First, and the early best scoring chance for the Bruins. Jay Miller, look at him alone in front of the empty net, can't handle the pass from Rick Middleton, so there's nothing there. And how's this for a serious whack? Cam Neely plays bumper cars with Lafreniere right there, puts him down. Now watch Clint Malarchuk do a Doug Flutie scramble, carrying the puck around with him and draw a delay of the game call. And the Bruins convert on the power play and then add another one to go up by 2.
And the puck to Talbot. A shot that rattled off the post to the right of the side of the net. Bork fakes. Gets by Cote. Gives it to Casper. And here's Middleton over the line. Middleton going deep. Cut in front. It might be Casper or Middleton may have gotten it as it deflected off Malarchuk. I don't think it got this.
Then a break for the third goal, drive from the point, then it goes off a skate, and Clint Malarchuk just flat out can't hold on to it. Fumbles it right back into the net, and a 3-goal lead for the Bruins. So at the end of the first period from the Garden tonight, hopefully a happy homecoming for the travel-weary Bees, and the score, Boston 3, Quebec nothing. Let's go back to Boston Garden now to Fred Cusick and Derek Sanderson. Gentlemen.
Boston in front by a score of 3-0, and that kind of, well, obliterates all the memories of the road trip.
Yeah, you don't forget about the road trip. Yeah, now we're playing, you go from here, and that's what they're saying in the dressing room. Bygones be bygones. That was a bad trip. It's out of our system now, and now they got to go from here.
They wouldn't be talking first place again, would they?
Sure, you always think in first place, but right now I'm still sticking with think game by game, beat the Quebec Nordiques here in the second period, and carry it from there.
Well, the penalty killing was good. It starts there, defense, right?
Yeah, and that is when you're conscious of that. I noticed that the first penalty killing chance the Bruins had, they used Middleton and Casper. They got tired. They came out with Foster for a quick one at Johnston just to give them a little breather, and came back with his 2 key penalty killers, which are Middleton and Casper. He used that format much throughout the 3 penalties, shut Quebec down. Had one shaky penalty that Ranford came up big a couple of times for him, but that's what you need. That's what hockey's all about.
And the other factor, of course, score in the power play, and that's been rather dry, but came up big in this instance for the first goal.
Well, the first goal was, this is a total team effort. This is a moving, hustling power play. The shot from Bork, the save. Crowder jumps on the rebound. He struggles and jumps to get it, tips it back to Middleton. Middleton, very cool, waits for the bodies to clear by him, slides it back to Bork. Bork steps into it, winds up. Now he sees the guy coming out to block it. He says, oh, well, wait a second. Right now, when the Bork had the presence to hold it here, right, is what the whole thing was all about. The success, most guys would have unloaded the shot, been blocked. And then he makes the play, not even the shot. Right, it goes to Casper, dumps it out to Telvin, who doesn't waste any time getting rid of it and beats moving Malarchuk, and it's a big goal for him.
So as you pointed out, all 5 players in the attacking zone got involved. Crowder and Middleton, Bork, Casper, and Telvin.
Right, all 5 of them were moving, all 5 of them stayed with the puck, all 5 of them looked for each other. That is what a power play is all about. You know you have the one unprotected body out there, get that man the puck. As this one worked out, it was Telvin.
Boston leads 3-0. Here's Tom.
All right, Fred, thank you. The Sabres are hosting the St. Louis Blues up in Buffalo tonight. We'll look at some first period action from that game, too. When Bruins hockey continues here on your New England Sports Network.
light.
That's not correct, Steve. Don't just ask for a light beer.
Come on, give me a light.
You asked for it, Steve.
Bud Light!
Yes, Steve. Bud Light. The light beer with the first name and taste.
Don't just ask for a light.
Bud Light, because everything else is just a light, Steve.
When all the Washington's birthday car and truck sales start to look the same to you, here's one thing to remember. Chevrolet. Because over the last 5 years, forget about Washington's birthday for a minute, over the last 5 years, New Englanders have bought more Chevys than any other cars and trucks. So this year, you can monkey around, or you can start where more people end up.
Start where more people end up. Chevy of New England.
There's no club in hockey that's turned things around like the Buffalo Sabres since Ted Sater has come on as the coach there. Once about the worst in the league, they've come back to contend for a playoff spot now in the Adams division. They're playing St. Louis tonight. St. Louis jumped out to an early lead on the goal here by Bernie Federico. Hunter and Gilmore with the assist. This made it St. Louis 1, Buffalo nothing. The Sabres, though, came back and scored the next two. This one by Wilf Paymont off his own rebound will tie it. St. Louis and Buffalo tied at 1-1. This is all first period action. Christian Rutu for Buffalo gives the Sabres a lead. Rob Ramage will score to make it 2-1 Buffalo, and it ended that way at the end of the first period. St. Louis has scored in the second period, though, to tie it at 2-2. Now for second period action back at Boston Garden. We go back to Fred Cusick, Dave Shea, and Derek Sanderson.
Well, this is a big adjustment, Derek, for the Bruins. They're not used to having a 3-goal lead after one.
Oh, facetious, are you snarky?
Well, it is now. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they handle it, if they have that killer instinct to make sure they drive the final nail in on Quebec or let up.
Well, O'Reilly, I'm quite sure is going to bear down. These guys, they can't afford to let up at any time. That's what they've got to do, is take this for 60 minutes and get regrouped entirely.
It is a power play for Boston right at the start. But Cote is making it tough for the Bruins with aggressive forechecking. Takes it away from Bork behind the net. Now Telvin starting back. In the center ice to Bork. Bork off on the right for Crowder. Crowder back for Bork. And Middleton, they couldn't quite reach it for a shot on net on that pass across Crowder for Middleton. Winding up is Telvin, 40 seconds left. Could be a very big goal for Boston right here. Bork chased by Hunter. Up for Middleton. Now Bork breaks it up at center ice, loses to Mahler. And Randy Mahler right back, catching a change and a shot, and it's wide of the net. Telvin in deep. Telvin. A hard pass, and Neely can't handle it. Cleared back in the Boston end, and not a good power play here at the start for Boston. They have a power play goal, their first goal. Lindsman, center ice. He has a score. Deflecting the Milbury shot off his right foot. Clears it in. Full strength. The Nordiques. They fire it out wide of Ranford. Ranford forced to play it as Goulet moved down. Milbury around for Neely. To Simmer. To Lindsman. Lindsman over the line. Trying to get it back in front. Blocked by Picard. Bounces into the corner. On it, Neely. Tapped it back from Milbury. Back up the board. Stopped by Lafreniere. Fed out into center ice. Missed by Goulet. Now around the boards in the corner. Goulet there. Drops it in front. Knocked away. Not out. Shot by Anton Stastny. Blocked in front. Lindsman out. Lindsman for Neely. Hard shot. Ooh, he screamed that one from outside the blue line. And the Nordiques back. Drop pass, Goulet for Anton Stastny. Trying to set up Picard, breaking for the net. Couldn't do it. Peter Stastny winding up. Boston leads 3-0. Anton off across for Goulet. Hits the post to the right of Ranford. In deep, stolen by Peter Stastny. In front, a backhander on Goulet is blocked. And the Bruins clear it. But the Bruins are sagging at this point with a 3-0 lead. And Detroit coming on. Johnston in the forecheck hard. And he's knocked down on the play, and Anton Stastny wheels it out. And breaking center ice, McRae, high drive over the head of Ranford. The rebound kept in by Anton Stastny. A shot on, a save. The rebound, Shaw. Shaw goes in deep, wrapped up. And Foster starts it out. Catches Dolego on defense. Here he comes. Over the line. Drops it for Johnston. The shot scores! They trapped the defenseman, and Johnston scores from Foster.
Well, you got to give the first part of this period to keeping the Quebec Nordiques from being in this ball game. Billy Ranford come up awful big on 2 or 3 occasions, Dave. And I tell you, a quick shot, a soft play, Quebec, they lacked the line. They went a little lax, gave up the blue line, and Johnson just snapped it. No big wind-up, snapped it, and caught Malarchuk moving.
Good play by Foster, too. The nice drop pass. He took both Nordiques with him, and it kind of set up a screen.
Dolego really steps out of the way there, and the other guy come across and screened him.
Looked like Dolego may have been the guy that was screening Malarchuk.
Yeah,
and,
not knowing what he's doing.
What was Dolego doing there?
He's got to let Dolego, I don't know, he get caught in here.
Shaw was caught up ice. They're taking out Malarchuk. Mario Goslin will go in.
He's a little upset. Most goaltenders applaud each other, tap each other on the pad, but Malarchuk a tad upset. He's not too happy about this decision.
You know, he hasn't played that bad a game.
No,
he hasn't had any support.
No, he hasn't. And what it is, it's not his night. He's a tremendous goaltender, and they don't want him to fill the net on him, and that's what they're looking at. What we talked about earlier in the year, we saw it a couple of times. The goaltender change turns things around. Maybe for Mario Goslin, they'll tighten up a little bit, play a little more defense, and then start chipping away at the Bruins. But if the Bruins keep working, they'll take it to them. But like Fred mentioned, that's a tough 2-3 minute start to have there.
First time we've seen Goslin since Malarchuk posted those back-to-back shutouts in November of '85.
The goal by Johnston from Foster. And it's at 2:57, and now in the nets, Mario Goslin. Casper out with Courtnall and Sweeney, and Courtnall and Sweeney haven't played in the game so far. A little bit of depth here for Terry O'Reilly.
This is the time to use them.
Boston leads 4-0. Cote keeps it in. Grodnick broken up by Bork, kept in. Rolls near Ranford. He picks it off on Lafreniere. And a face-off called. And with the score, Boston 4, Quebec nothing. Bruins hockey will continue in a moment.
Homeowners, be prepared for our unpredictable New England weather with Texaco Home Heating Oil. You can keep your family warm and heating bills reasonable by calling your local Texaco full-service oil company today. In Boston, it's White Fuel at 269-8300. In Providence, it's Kelleher at 725-6000. And in Worcester, it's Claflin Donahue at 754-5331. And don't forget to ask about their special rebates for new oil customers. You'll love the savings.
Face-off now to the right of Ranford. 16:28 left in the second period. Lafreniere on the face-off against Lindsman with the line change here. Lindsman wins it for Bork and for Derek.
Yeah.
Bruins clear it. Rocheford winding up. Nordiques, of course, will be going all out. Completely. Defenseman up. Everybody. In the Boston end. Telvin winding up. Breaks away. In the center ice to Simmer. Simmer over the line. The Bruins hold one man back. Put two in deep. Trailing is Lindsman on the play. And digs it free for Neely. Neely in deep. Simmer trying to put it in front. Lindsman in the corner. Gets it back for Larson. Larson wraps it in for Simmer behind the net. Trying to look at Neely in front. Doesn't work. And out come the Nordiques. It is Cote at the line. Check. Broken up by Simmer. And Milbury starts it back. Away to Simmer. Beautiful connection over the line to Neely. Now to Lindsman. In. Shot blocked in front by Siltanen. It hit his skate at center ice. Checking by Neely breaks up the play. 4-0 Boston. Siltanen winding up. Hard shot. Rebound. Larson trying to knock it away. Goulet kept it in. He's hit by Marquardt. Puck kept in by Shaw. Screen shot. Beautiful save by Ranford. On a screen shot, right point, 50-footer by Shaw. And Larson makes a quick clear out. Racing for it, Johnston. And Marquardt back, and they prevent the icing. What great work by Marquardt and Johnston. Really digging. And Johnston gets it free along the line. Wraps it in. Goslin trying to clear it out. Johnston over on the board stopped it. His pass blocked, kept in by Boudelier. It's blocked. And the Nordiques break it out. A lead for DeLego, and he is offside.
Well, welcome to our Quebec viewers watching tonight up in Quebec City, province of Quebec, watching on M15.
Or MI5.
Or MI5.
MI5 is British intelligence.
Or watching on the big
Must
screen
be
anyway.
M15.
Goslin out to try to interfere with Johnston, but Greg did his part. He took the Nordique off the play, and Marquardt hustled in.
This is a big save here by Ranford. Screened all the way. Billy got a leg on it, shut it right off.
Tillene clears it away. Boston leads 4-0. Puck bounces back in wide of Ranford. Tillene there. Icing on the Nordiques. 14:20 left in the second period as Johnston made it 4-0 on a setup from Dwight Foster.
Well, Taz has to be feeling a little bit better about the state of affairs with the club. Wasn't too happy after last night's game. In fact, he really wasn't any happier before tonight's game, but he's got to be feeling a little bit better. He wasn't unhappy last night with the lack of effort. He said there was plenty of effort, just little results.
Yeah. That's the difficulty you always have to worry about is the breaks. You've got to get the breaks. Play well and get those.
Long pass for Anton Stastny, and he's caught from behind by Tillene, and then Tillene forced him over the line to force an offside. Good defensive play.
It's got to be very upsetting for Michel Bergeron. He's got a lot of talent in this hockey club. These guys got it. They're so good when they're good. You know, Quebec has got an awesome hockey club. When they can put it together in the playoffs, so with Hunter back, I know Dale's not 100% at this point, but he wants to play, and he's an intricate part of this Quebec hockey club, like Michel was saying between the periods. And these guys have been playing with Dale for a long time, and the two of them are together with Stastny playing well. That's a tough hockey club to beat, this Quebec Nordiques team.
And now Sweeney is out. Here's a shot and a save by Rochefort, saved by Ranford, and Courtnall clears it away and takes a smashing hit in deep by Hunter. Hunter battling hard. The line is Sweeney, Jay Miller, and Courtnall. Their first try here. Around the boards. McRae, Miller, Bork trying to get it. Batted up the boards. At back is Mahler with a shot. Goes wide and breaking it out. Telvin, a lead for Miller. Miller over the line. Drops it for Bork. In for a shot. A save. And back come the Nordiques. A 3-on-2 possible. Over the line comes McRae. Right in. And the pass is broken up by Telvin. A superb defensive play. Bruins gave up a 3-on-2 a moment ago. Bork has lost his stick. Stick is there, maybe broken. And this clear goes into the stands at a face-off called. And with a break in the action, let's pause for this message.
Introduced more new cars in a year than anyone in history, plus a whole new attitude.
We got the power to make you move. We make you feel like driving. We make you feel like driving.
They're waiting for you, the wide-open Pulsar NX, the longest wide-body van, and the Pathfinder 4x4 of the year.
We make you feel like driving, and the name is Nissan.
They've got that newly formed line together. They're working hard, but they set Ray Bork up in too deep. Ray was the key to make that an offensive threat. Now they get themselves set up for the 3-on-1 the other way, and Bork was the one that had to go all the way back. And that was the type of play. It looked like offense, but it was what got the Bruins in trouble for that 5-6 game slump.
Well, they have to keep it one man back in this situation.
Somebody's got to come back.
Can't allow a 3-on-2. Telvin saved the day.
You know, when Bork's in there, you've got a shortage of bodies back on defense, and they've got one of those forwards that's got to pull out.
Neely trying to keep it in. Milbury does at the line. Clears it back in deep. Goslin hurries it around. Linsman trying to get it. The Nordiques break it out. And Neely broke up a player, spilled him, a Grodnik. Here's Huff and Milbury tangling a bit. Neely trying to clear it out of the zone. Can't. But it's Larson on it. Away to Linsman. Linsman for Neely. Neely over the line. Fires a save. Good one by Goslin on that screen. A tester from Neely. Nearing the 8-minute mark of the second period. 4-0 Boston. and the puck is iced by the Nordiques.
Goslin broke his stick on that. He's got a little fire kindling. All right, now let's take a look at our Budweiser NHL scoreboard. Sabres trying to close the gap between themselves and the Nordiques are tied with St. Louis 2-2. That's a second period score at the odd. Vancouver leading Detroit at Joe Louis Arena 2-0 in the second. That's a bit of a surprise. Pittsburgh won, Islanders won second period. Getting underway a little bit later, Philadelphia and Calgary, Winnipeg and L.A. Cam Neely looking for his 29th goal of the season using Simmer as a screen. Good save.
Tell you, that was an excellent save. Neely hit the spot he was looking at, but I think Mario might have went down a little early and not too sure of himself at this point. He's got to see a few more pucks out there. And it hit him, and he's bent out of shape here.
Old friend Guy Lapointe is an assistant coach with the Quebec Nordiques, played for the Boston Bruins, and of course part of the great threesome with Montreal.
Guy Lapointe's probably one of the best friends ever played this game. I tell you, and he was tough. Guy Lapointe had an awful lot to do with the Montreal Canadiens ending up a strong club. Here we got a half a stick. It's like you said, kindling wood. It's dry. Broke real easy.
Puck is dropped in the zone. Peter Stastny trying to move it out. Check. Broken up by Crowder. In for Casper. He's pinned on the boards. Fought for there. And tied up for a face-off again to the right of Mario Goslin.
Well, after spending 6 on the road, the Bruins are home for 3. Buffalo will be in Saturday afternoon here on Nesson, 1:15 face-off. And Detroit in here Monday night. Guy Lapointe.
One of the great guys in this game.
Yeah.
One of the nicer people in this game, boy. He
Yeah,
could play. A lot of respect for that man.
He had some
give
fun
it his
while
all.
he was here.
He'd give it his all. Sunk my ship a few times.
I don't think you were singled out either.
No.
Casper, Middleton, and Crowder. The draw back to Tallene. Catches it, drops it, fires, and it's over the head of Goslin. Kept in by Boutelier. In deep for Crowder. For Casper. Trying to make the play from the corner. Knocked away by Siltanen. Around the boards, Tallene left point, moves up. Knocks it back in deep. Siltanen for Peter Stastny. Peter stopped. Bruins clear it in. And shot. Didn't quite reach the net. Loose puck in front, skated off by Peter Stastny. In the center ice to Goulet. He's broken up by Middleton. A sweep check. Derek Sanderson style. Drops it in for Tallene. Tallene cutting near the net in front. It's blocked. Middleton in front. Crowder open. Couldn't put it on net on a deflection. Had his back to the net. In deep. Fought for. And matching penalties. The quick signal here by Picard, and Crowder will be going out.
They've been going at it all night long.
Keith a little disappointed there. He had a bit of a bad break on the pass, so he's all alone in front. Now this doesn't happen, but it's funny. Now
we got it on his backhand.
You know, he didn't get it on his backhand. He didn't have it on his forehand. When it comes to him, it hits the tip of the stick, right? It's flat. Right. The puck hits dead in the middle of his stick. Now when he gets the pass to him, now he's faced it. Now a nice little play here by Middleton, and it hits right at the end of the stick.
Well, he would have been faced with the backhand.
Yeah, he would have
had to go with the backhand.
Okay, but he meant to just redirect it, and it hit the end of the stick and went nowhere. What do I got to do? What do I got to do?
Keith is just battling against the tide right now to get out of the slump he's in, and it's like quicksand. The harder he works to get out of it, the deeper in he seems to get.
And he's playing awful well. He's playing hard. It's just nothing's bouncing for him right now.
It'll come.
He gets hot. You know, he can carry this club to a few playoff rounds, so he's essential.
Foster digs it free. Teams are at full strength. 2 minutes each roughing. Crowder and Picard at 8:42. And Marquardt is spilled, and the Bruins will have a power play. Delay. Bork keeps it in for Foster. The shot. And it hit a Nordique Hunter, I believe, and went wide. Still kept in. Linsman a shot. Good save, Goslin. And now the call on the Nordiques. And now Marquardt gets tangled up with Mahler. They go at it. Nordiques have nothing to lose. They've got the penalty coming first.
Oh, Mahler better not let Nevin shake one loose. He's hoping to take Nevin with him, but he may have bought some trouble.
We got Miller going in the corner, too. Nevin's a show right now, but Miller and I think McCray are jockeying for a position.
Oh, Hunter wants Linsman. Miller down on McCray. Mahler and Marquardt still going. Oh, Hunter has Raymond Bork. He said, wait a minute, I don't want you. I want Linsman.
Oh!
Hey, well, this one could get ugly. We got Miller sitting on a kid in the corner with the goaltender.
Look at Roachford held on to Linsman, so Hunter.
There we go. Sweeney let it off the bench. Sweeney came off the bench. He's not going to let anybody take anybody. Miller's got the kid down in the corner. That one's over. Jay will try to get up in a minute as soon as he sees somebody losing. You better calm this down, boys.
Well, somebody said to me, guys, on the way back from the interview room, hey, this is going to get nasty.
Well,
I said,
Anton Stastny, Scott Neely, and that's a mismatch.
Said if Boston scores the next goal, it will get nasty. If Quebec scores, they won't want to take any penalties and let Boston get back on the power play. So the Bruins go up 4-0. Nordiques frustrated, figuring they're out of it. This is about all that's left now.
Well, it started when Hunter wanted Kenny Linsman. Ray Bork stood up for him. Hunter's probably got a, Linsman spotting him a foot and 30 pounds. Ray stayed involved, kept it up. He was not going to let Hunter get it, Linsman. That's what O'Reilly wants. O'Reilly does not want these guys going running roughshod just because they're up.
Oh, boy, look out. I didn't get the number of the player that Cam Neely wanted, but he got him.
Well, Foster got him. Neely grabbed him. Foster decked him. That was the one that jumped Foster. I think it was Donnelly. This is long from over. This is not going to end easily. Jay Miller is still sitting on the guy in the corner. Now they're going to struggle. McCray jockeys for position. Miller's going to skate him over there. Now, Miller does not want this guy, McCray. He wants to get rid of him. He wants to get involved.
He wants Hunter, which I think is the object of every Bruins affection right about now.
Yeah.
There's Hunter underneath Milbury. Telvin and Lafreniere.
Is it Miller and Lafreniere?
No, Michael Telvin and Lafreniere.
Well, they look like they're dancing to the music.
Well, it looked like they were going to square off, and then said, let's watch.
Well, to sum it up, it's exactly what Quebec wants. I mean, they're down 4-0. What else have they got to do?
Well, Foster and Gord Donnelly are headed for the dressing room.
They're gone for the night.
Yeah. Bob Sweeney should be done for the night coming off the bench.
Sweeney will definitely be gone. They're going to lose Mahler here if he doesn't get going. He's supposed to go directly to the box. Nobody, of course, did that. Nobody in this game at any time, is afraid of anything. What happens is the aggressive players and the fighters, if they get matched up in a mismatch, then this starts to take effect, and then it's a snowball effect. Everybody comes in to bail out a friend and a teammate. Quebec is not going to take any nonsense from the Bruins at any time, so this has a tendency to develop.
Well, looks like Neely's done. At least he's got a misconduct. Let me put it that way. He may have the 5 and 10 and go back in the third period.
Courtnall got involved, threw a few punches. Dwight Foster threw about 6 dandies.
Heck, you could hand out about 10 fighting penalties on both sides.
Sure you could.
I don't know how you're going to single out guys. Miller didn't really even fight. He just took McCray to the corner and sat on him.
Yeah. Miller, see, that's what I like to say about Jay Miller. Jay Miller had McCray, who wants to, mess around and act tough guy. Miller ends up sitting on him. He could have knocked him silly over there. But Miller is it's an equal fight. It's an equal go-all fight. You're standing up. But once he was sitting on his crest, he wasn't really going to let him do anything. So, would have been foolish for McCray at that point. That was a wrestling match. And Stan Stastny had Cam Neely.
Oh, what a bad draw.
Yeah, he did a bad draw.
He drew the short straw.
Yeah, I remember one night I had a draw. And I looked around and the bodies, And the Montreal Canadiens, and Jesus, the only one left is John Ferguson. I said, oh, God, why
Nice
me?
pick. With the score, Boston 4, Quebec nothing. Bruins hockey will continue in a moment.
Don't win nothing for practice. Don't win nothing if you don't.
All right, let's have it.
After a long day of hard knocks,
That's right.
head for the beer that goes down smooth as a mountain stream. Bush.
Here, this one don't buck so hard.
Head for the mountains of Bush beer.
Well, while they count bodies and try to figure out if we have enough left to finish the period, you were saying you one night had the misfortune of being the lone man left and John Ferguson, your dancing partner. How'd you make out?
I think John Ferguson had it set up that way. He just dodged everybody until I was left, and I said, oh, my God. John Ferguson got 2 extra knuckles on each fist. The man doesn't have, like, 8 knuckles. He's got 10, he's got, 6 knuckles, and biggest hands, biggest fists when they're coming at you. Glad to say that that ended and my life was spared. No problem.
Put them on your Christmas list. Well, here's how it all began. There was a disagreement. Mahler wanted Marquardt. Marquardt drew the penalty. And Hunter wants Kenny Linsman. Look at Rochford hold Linsman for Hunter to get around. Now Sweeney will come off the bench, and that led the parade.
Kelvin's pulling everybody away
Here
now.
comes Sweeney.
Well, that led the parade.
Here comes everyone.
You'll watch that. People talk about violence in sport. There are actually about only 5 players involved in this out of 40. 5 guys actually want to fight. Quebec is down 4-0. The frustration has peaked with them. They're in a slump. And many times it is in the past, these games have come about where the brawl starts and it gets the team going. So in my contention, not for youth hockey or anything like that, but when you're in the major leagues, and this happens in hockey, nothing seems to pull a team together quicker than this type of. I think the team to watch out for now. You watch Quebec backed each other up in this. They got in something involved in the team effort. They're losing together, and then they'll fight together, and then hopefully you win together.
Well, there's going to be a lot of short shifting for the last 10:55 of this period.
A lot of guys gone from this one. There'll be some fines passed out. The league takes a dim view of this nonsense. Mayor Flynn takes a dim view of this nonsense.
Yes.
Harry Sinden doesn't like it either. No one really likes this empty the benches brawl.
I tell you,
if I wasn't on Nesson, I'd love it, but
I tell you, our good friend Robin Young is here with the NBC Today show. They'll have a story for tomorrow, right?
Yeah, they'll have this one. She's here doing the game, and I going, okay.
She's doing a story on Derek Sanderson, and that's great. We're thrilled about that, but they may have enough for a week's programming.
They could have a whole special out of this.
Well, Terry Gregson trying to
How do you
get
sort
the
this
input
out?
from his linesman.
I could never figure out how they sort this out.
Well, they'll pick out the guys they've already thumbed. Donnelly and Hunter, along with Miller and Neely.
Yeah, but Quebec's not losing much in this. I mean, Quebec is gaining an awful lot.
They're
No
gaining.
question about it. The Bruins are ahead. You just want to win the game and go home quietly. But we talked about Linsman before. He's in the midst of it, but so isn't Hunter. And Hunter really provoked it. If Hunter wasn't so antagonistic, there wouldn't have been the wild scene.
It wouldn't
There's no
have escalated.
question about that.
Yeah, it would not have escalated without Dale's involvement.
Everybody wants to get Linsman in the Bruins
noticed
games.
that.
Oh, the
I
whole
noticed
road
that.
trip. Did you notice that? The whole road trip. It was as if
It's
there
like,
was
okay, the game is decided. Now let's get Linsman.
Yeah.
Or
As
up
if
or
Kenny's-
down, get Linsman.
I thought Kenny's poster would be up on the marquee in each arena we went to. Bruins versus plus featuring Ken
Let's get
Linsman.
Kenny Linsman.
There's Kenny. Why me?
Kenny's an instigator. Get himself going with that goal, I hope now. He gets hot. He's also a key. Him and Crowder start putting the puck in the net. Bruins can go a long way.
Hunter going after him, I mean, he would go after Linsman. He wouldn't go after anybody else. That's another thing about Hunter. I mean, I appreciate his great work, and he's a provocateur. There's no question about that. But he does not pick on big targets, I tell you that. But a Linsman,
Are you
he
saying
would
he
go
picks
there.
his spots, Fred?
He picks his spots, no question about that. So, but Linsman has been everybody's target, as we pointed out. The Bruins have lost Miller and Sweeney and Neely. It's going to be a matter of depth from here in.
Quebec has lost their tough guys, too. This should be a continued
But
hockey
Hunter
game.
hasn't been a factor in the game. As you pointed out, he's played very limited and not really a factor, more on the bench for his
at this
spirit
time,
and whatnot. Rocheford should be gone, but I don't know.
And Mahler.
Mahler really started the whole
Mahler's
affair.
in the penalty box.
Mahler should be getting 4 minutes to begin with. He was originally going to get 2 for cross-checking Marquardt. Then right in front of Gregson, he held on to Marquardt's stick, and Marquardt couldn't move anywhere.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see him get 4. Now, who do you give the instigator to? Because somebody
Well, Sweeney will get
instigated
an
it.
additional 2 for coming off the bench.
Foster is also gone. He came in to win. He
Right.
was a third man in a battle.
Yeah.
You may have to suit up, guys.
Derek.
Whoa!
It
I
may
don't
even
know.
go to you, Fred.
I like it up here better.
This copyrighted program is brought to you under pay cable TV rights granted by the Boston Bruins solely for the entertainment of our viewing audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of the accounts and descriptions of this game without the express written consent of the New England Sports Network and the Bruins is prohibited. Bruins just lost another. Jeff Courtnall. to
This
the
game
dressing room.
is not over
No.
at 4-0. The Bruins simply lost too many people.
That's
Just numbers.
very good point, Fred. This game is far from over. Quebec regroups and chips away. Quebec Nordiques have a lot of talent down there on that ice, and if they get a goal and then they get a fluke and a power play, they can chip away. The Bruins still have to be conscious that they've got 30 minutes left.
Well, Nate Greenberg trying to find out how the penalty minutes are being doled out.
Old Nate, ever present.
Either that or he's calling out for a pizza.
Is that Nate's briefcase up there? I like
I think
that.
that's his lunchbox.
You're bad. You're a PR man. You got to have the briefcase, you know.
Oh, that's right. It is a briefcase.
Yeah.
Lunchbox isn't quite that flat.
Well, you're tough.
He and Tommy Johnson are always
needling you pretty good.
getting after me. You know, as I'm eating the salad and they have the lasagna, you know.
Yeah.
How do you figure that?
I know Tommy Johnson likes to mix it up. He likes that.
Well, Terry O'Reilly now getting a little bit inquisitive. Hey, Terry, Gregson, when are you going to come up with the penalty minutes, and when are you going to stop sending my guys to the dressing room?
You know, in all sincerity, O'Reilly is not really too pleased with this. His club is playing well. They came out, they played the first 3-4 minutes they played a little shaky, get a goal. All right, they go up 4. Quebec starts chipping away. Then the brawl starts. O'Reilly really would have liked to have seen a little continuity to this would be a solid effort, 3-period effort. This is going to totally disrupt that. So the next game will be back to the drawing board in 60 minutes.
I can read Kenny Linsman's lips. He says, I never threw a punch. He may be getting a penalty.
He may be getting the hook.
I tell you, the Bruins are not going to have enough players. They've got half a game to play, a 4-0 lead, and they're simply a matter of manpower. They're not going to have enough out there.
Oh, Kenny's right. He never threw a punch. In fact, he covered up when Hunter started throwing punches at him. Well, Linsman's headed for the dressing room. Let's count the Bruins that have gone, because it's almost like 6-2 now. We saw Donnelly and we saw Hunter from Quebec go to their dressing room.
Neely's gone.
Neely is gone.
Foster's gone.
Foster,
Courtnall's gone.
Miller, Courtnall.
Linsman
and bad deal all around.
Sweeney.
Very, very bad.
6-2. I mean, we knew Sweeney was going to be gone for being first off the bench. But 6-2?
Why is Miller gone?
And why isn't McRae if Miller's gone?
That's what I'm saying. A couple of Nordiques are still hanging around. They might be gone, too. I don't think they're going to throw that many bodies out of here. They can't.
Mahler and Picard are in the box. Marquardt and Crowder are in the box.
And there's a dangerous thing. Ray Bourque, you hate to see him involved in these squabbles. He's there trying to protect Linsman.
Look at that. You know, Roachford purposely held Linsman and Hunter scooted around the backside. Come on, Dale. If you want him, go after him without help. You know, he's not going anywhere. I mean, Dale is the kind of guy you'd love to have on your club, but that kind of stuff aggravates you.
I'd like to see Dale Hunter with the Bruins.
Well, here come the penalty minutes, and I don't see a power play up there for Boston. How can that be? There was an original penalty being called against Randy Mahler.
Yeah, no, but coming off the bench will negate that.
They could come out all even, but in personnel, the Bruins are really short-handed. Hunter gets 2 minutes for instigating among a flock of other penalties. But
they've got to put Mahler's penalty up, Fred. They've got to put that original cross-check up. That shouldn't be canceled out.
Marquardt, 5 minutes for fighting. Number 20, Dwight Foster, 5 minutes for fighting and a game misconduct. Number 29, Jay Miller, 5 minutes for fighting and a game misconduct.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
He shouldn't have done it. That's terrible call.
Number 42, Bob Sweeney, a double minor for being the first player off the bench and a game misconduct. Number 13, Ken Linsman, 5 minutes for fighting.
That's ridiculous.
Number 14, Jeff Courtnall, 5 minutes for fighting and a game misconduct. And to number 30, Bill Ranford, 2 minutes for leaving the crease for an altercation. Time of the penalties are 9 minutes, 5 seconds.
Well, I wonder who's going to put the bid in for the publishing rights on the stat sheet after this.
Wow, I'll tell you.
Repeating,
Jay Miller should not be gone.
For Quebec, number
Here's the
21,
Quebec penalty.
Randy Mahler, 2 minutes roughing, 5 minutes fighting.
What happened to the cross-check on Middleton, on Marquardt that started the whole thing?
Donnelly, 5 minutes fighting.
They didn't even give him a penalty for cross-checking. They gave him 2 minutes for roughing and 5 for fighting.
Right. You know, the fans are yelling to get going, and that's what they should be doing.
5 minutes fighting in a game misconduct.
Now watch the side of the net. Marquardt right there.
Fighting in a game misconduct.
That's when the arm went up. Gregson's arm is up. See, look at Mahler. Oh, come on, you can't be serious.
For the Bruins, number 17.
They got Mahler 2 and 5.
Yeah, but 2 for roughing.
Number 20.
That's what he gave him the original penalty for, roughing.
Well, then what happened when he went after Marquardt? What do you call that?
Oh, that was just fight. That was part of the fight.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what they're
I'm
called.
glad you're with us.
He gave him an original roughing penalty for pushing him into Malarchuk.
For being the first player off the bench.
Well, there won't be any power plays.
Quebec lining up for the kill. Peter Stastny, Anton Stastny, Goulet out there. And the Bruins, immediately, they've got a couple of guys in the penalty box, but on the bench, in front of O'Reilly, just a handful there.
2 minutes for leaving the bench to join an altercation.
Well, the Nordiques have a relatively full bench. How can so many Bruins get 5-minute fightings and game misconducts and not have a partner to fight with?
I don't know.
I mean, how can't there be equal numbers going out? It's like saying, oh, we had 6 Bruins fighting and only 2 Nordiques. Here's Cam Neely back. Cam thought he was tossed. Here's the breakdown. Marquardt, 5 minutes for fighting. Foster, 5 minutes for fighting in a game. Miller, 5 for fighting in a game. That's ridiculous. Sweeney, a double minor for being the first off the bench in a game. Linsman, 5 for fighting. Courtnall, 5 for fighting in a game. Ranford, 2 minutes for leaving the crease. On the other side, you have Mahler, 2 minutes for roughing and 5 minutes fighting. Hunter, 2 minutes for instigating, 5 fighting in a game misconduct. So those 2 minors offset Ranford. And Sweeney's 2. Gosselin got 2 for leaving the crease. McRae got 5 for fighting. Donnelly got a game misconduct along with a 5-minute fighting. Nope,
Neely just came
Neely
back.
coach.
He never announced it. Neely came back. The linesman remembered, gave Neely a 5 in the game. That's a little confusing. There's no way I can defend that. I don't know what he's doing.
Bruins have 5 men on the bench right now in front of O'Reilly. And they have 5, of course, and Ranford out there now.
This game is a long way from over with that many bodies on the bench.
Absolutely brutal. The point is the game misconducts.
Yes.
To get rid of most of the Bruins. How many game misconducts on the Bruins? Game, out of the game.
1,
Neely.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Brutal.
2 out for
Quebec.
And the Bruins had 6 fighting. Quebec had 4. How do you figure that?
Brutal.
Got to ask Terry Gregson what kind of math he had in school. It certainly wasn't the same kind I had.
Bork with it now. Players on. The teams are at full strength after the wild battle of Causeway Street. And Quebec just looking for for breakaways and opportunities. They're not going to back check much. They're just going to wait. The Bruins got to keep one man back. Here comes Peter Stastny with Anton and a trail of Silton and the shot, the save, Ranford. Blistering drive. And we're exactly halfway through the game. 10:03 left, second period. We're going to see a lot of that. They're just going to play for breaks.
Nor do they have to double shift everyone. 5 off, 5 on. They've only got 10 left on the bench. One's a goalkeeper.
Good save by Billy, a rising shot. It got caught in behind his pads and he covered up.
Well, I'll tell you, Harry Sin is going to be very distraught over this. I cannot understand this.
Oh, Linsman got a game misconduct as well.
How did Kenny get a game?
How did he get a fighting?
Bruins battling there under man. Shaw shot. Game far from over. 4-0 the Bruins lead, and Gregson took about half the Bruins team, a third of it, and kicked him out of the game. A hand pass called and a face-off now outside the Boston line. 9:49 left here in the second period.
But we have to use Johnson at center, Boudelier on left wing. That's what's going to hurt. It's the continuity of the club itself. You don't have a line.
When will Crowder and Marquardt be back? That's.
What did Crowder get? Crowder was off with Picard. They should be back momentarily. They had matching roughing calls.
Ray Bork with it in deep. Up for Simmer. Simmer's hit. Cote moves it in. Blocked. Bork starts it away. A lead for Casper. He can't connect with it. And Goslin plays it off in the corner. Follow up by Bork. Save. Casper trying to put it in, and Goslin just saved it. Shaw put the stick up high, and Casper, and boy, they're going to provoke them.
Almost. Ray Bork had to pass this puck hard to get it between the two defenders. But it was too hard for Casper to handle, be able to control and move in.
It's a little airborne, too. If it had been flat, of course, if it had been flat, the defenseman would have hit his stick. So those are the type you got to pick that. It's a bang-bang, pick it out of the air. If you can do that, God bless you, you got a breakaway. If you can't, well, we'll just play it off the end boards.
That's similar to if a frog had wings?
Yeah.
Kind of?
Yeah.
I mean, along those lines.
Yeah, along those lines. I don't know how it has anything to do with it, David, but...
Bruins down to 2 lines, and this second line has Telvin and Boudelier on it. 2 defensemen.
Johnson won that face-off clean.
Back for Larson. Larson gets it out for Boudelier. Up the left wing side, over the line. Trying to move in. Goes to the corner. Pokes it in deep. He's playing forward along with Telvin. Johnston in the forecheck. Huff now back for Siltanen. 9 minutes left, second period. Bruins decidedly undermanned. Puck is cleared in. Larson starts it out. Leads the rush. Drives, a save by Goslin. Bruins make a change. They have to change 5 at a time, and that's all they have. Right now, Siltanen the clear in. Knocked away. Ray Bork back. Gets it up center ice. Middleton knocked off the puck. Winding up is Finn. Simmer in to hit him. Knock him down. Puck to Casper. Can't get it. Middleton keeps it in to Casper. Casper back for Middleton. In front, block. Oh, great play by Middleton. Almost paid off for Simmer in front. Back comes Peter Stastny. Way to Shaw. Bruins tie it up at center ice, and here's Simmer all alone, in and missed the net. And back comes Peter Stastny. A lead for Goulet. He's offside.
Well, the game misconducts obviously are going to have a bearing on this game, but it's also going to have a bearing on the next three. Bob Sweeney is definitely out of the next one with his game misconduct for coming off the bench. And Jay Miller is now going to miss the next 3 games. This is his 5th game misconduct. After 3, you're suspended for a game. On your 4th, you miss 2 games. On your 5th, 3 games, and so on and so forth. Simmer tried to get Goslin leaning right, and he did.
He did.
Unfortunately, he missed far side. Good bid by
bothered. He was being bothered just a little bit.
Bruins get Crowder out of the penalty box. Marquardt's still in there. Johnston trying to play it back to Milbury to start the play. It goes in deep. Milbury starting out. Around for Telvin. 4-0 Boston. But a long way to go yet. Boudelier over the line, and Johnston pokes it in, and Goslin makes the save. Bruins are hustling, I tell you, digging. Underman. Boudelier in deep, checking. Wraps up Cote. Played around the boards. Bounces in front of the net. Now fed off to Picard. Knocks it center ice, and Milbury covers it. Clears it back in, knocked away. Winding up Derlego. What we should do is count the number of Quebec players versus the number of Boston players. Check the bench.
Okay, Fred, I'll do that.
Here's Derlego for Cote. Misfires. Milbury gets it. Clears it out. A lead for Crowder. Crowder over the line. Check. To follow up Casper. Cuts. Across in front. Broken up by Shaw. Fought for. Simmer trying to come out of the corner. Simmer. Hold on to the play. Shaw is going out. Holding.
Well, Fred, we've got 10 Nordiques on the bench and 5 Bruins on the bench, 5 each on the ice, so...
And 1 each in the box.
Okay, with the score, Boston 4, Quebec 0. Bruins hockey will continue in a moment.
That's cool.
Sally, who took the yellow pages?
Oh.
Honey, have you seen the yellow pages?
No.
Susie, where are the yellow pages?
Sally had it last. I did not.
Come on, I need the yellow
Over the years, one book has been in more homes, helping people throughout New England find more goods and services. The 9X Yellow Pages.
Mom.
It's always there when you need it.
Oh.
Power play Boston. The Nordiques clear it. The Nordiques have 16 on the bench, and the Bruins have 12. Out comes Ray Bourque. Off for Casper. Clears it in. Simmer in the battle. Rochefort along the boards. A heavy hit by Casper. Get back at him. Long pass across. Kept in by Bourque. Pass in deep. Simmer behind the net. Off for Casper. Can't get it. Eagles checks him hard. And cleared away by Eagles. Boston on a power play. 6 minutes left in the second period. Boston leads 4-0. Rushing Johnston. He has a goal. Over the line. His shot blocked. Still there. Knocked away to center ice. Reed Larson. Off for Bourque. Bourque center ice. For Larson. Broken up. Cleared back for Cote. He's checked. Larson. Broken up. And the pass to Goulet finds him offside. 49 seconds left on the Boston power play. 5:31 left. Second period. 4-0 the Bruins.
Steve Casper, who we'll be talking to during the intermission coming up, goes hard. Norman Rochefort.
I'll get you even.
We're all even now.
One thing I like about hockey, I know in football you've got offense, they get hit, and the defense does the hitting. Hockey, anybody can hit anybody.
Ray Bourque out on the power play. Winding up. Boudelier's at left wing. When would he get a chance like this? Left wing on a power play. Away comes Johnston, the center, for Boudelier. And the play called offside.
Mario Goslin. Remember after the '84 Olympics, which he was a goaltender for Team Canada, joined Quebec to a great fanfare, and great things were hoped for, not only for him, but for the franchise with him in goal. But Malarchuk took over unexpectedly. He was listed third on the depth chart. Had back-to-back shutouts against the Bruins around Thanksgiving time and has been number one ever since.
Rogatien Vachon did the same thing for the Canadiens. It was all over. His career was a great one after that.
And in the Boston corner, Peter Stastny battling hard with Eagles. Larson going after him, throws a punch, and they let that go. And Bork with it. Bork out by Eagles. Over the line. Trying to rush in away from Finn. Drops it for Casper. Casper holding. Back for Larson. Talbot, rather. His shot deflected wide. Nordiques back at full strength. Simmer fights for it. Hauled down. Casper wheeling in the corner. Back for Tallene. Fed back in. 4:27 left. Simmer out of the corner. Behind the net. Trying to wheel it. Gets it back for Talbot. Talbot a quick shot. And the net is dislodged and the face-off called.
Well, this game's got everything. What I like most of all is the 4-0 lead.
Have many more whistles. We may be having breakfast here.
Yeah, this is true.
We're almost 2 hours old now and not out of the second period.
Yeah, I should tell my wife, that we might be a little late. If she's watching, you think?
She knows you're with us. She knows you're all right.
Yeah, if I'm with you, I might be a little shaky. But I'm with Fred, then I'm solid. I'm in good shape.
The Boston line is Johnston at center with Crowder on the right, Boutelier on the left. As Terry O'Reilly is forced to improvise. Monday night, O'Reilly and Cuniff played the full game in the inter-squad scrimmage for the benefit of Mike Maruzzi, and they may dress and be out there. O'Reilly looked good.
Yeah, Terry looked pretty well enough to play.
Siltanen works it smartly, and over the line comes Peter Stastny. Drops it in front, picked off by Ranford. Trying to clear it, lost it. Loose, still bouncing around. Drop back, left point for Rochefort. Shot missed the net. Right point, Siltanen tees it up. Save, Ranford. Took it right away from Goulet, whose stick was high trying to knock it in. And winding up is Siltanen. In the center ice comes Peter Stastny. Off for brother Anton. Drops it right on the stick of Johnston. A lead, center ice. Simmer trying to break. And over the line comes Larson. In. Shot a save by Goslin. And the Nordiques clear it. Back goes Milbury. Oh, late hit by Anton Stastny. A late hit on the whistle. By Peter, rather. And there they go again. Let's see how Gregson calls this.
Probably two Bruins out.
Well, I'll tell you, if he's going to call anything, that's an icing call. Milbury was relaxed. Stastny was about a yard away. Not that he attacked him, not that he jumped him to hit him to hurt him, but he hit him. And that should be an extra 2.
Well, my guess is they'll have Milbury as the instigator.
Yeah.
That's the way they
and a game misconduct. I mean, that seems to be in vogue.
Well, nobody, particularly Milbury, is going to take that.
No,
a whistle, a late hit.
Nobody in the game, and if I certainly wouldn't take it from Peter Stastny.
Gee, what got into Peter? He's not the type that goes flying into the fracas.
That looks like he just couldn't be bothered stopping.
He can play it tough if he wants to, but that comes under the category of cheap shot. Cheap shot.
Oh, there it is. Mike Milbury just easing up, ready to touch up, get the icing.
Such an obvious icing. Biff. Maybe he didn't hear the whistle.
Yeah, that's probably it.
That's, Peter, good guy. I mean, you don't want to... Maybe he doesn't like Mike.
I hate to say it this early in the game, but that's about all Peter has done.
Yeah.
Because he can break out at any moment.
2 minutes each for Ruffin. Michel there, very demonstrative again, all upset.
What's Michel want?
I don't know. He's all bent out of shape.
He's not going to be short-handed. Can you believe it?
2 minutes each for roughing is all they got, no?
I mean, what did Michelle expect? Milbury to get 5 and Peter 2?
Calm down, Simon.
Oh, look at Simon. Looks like Walter Matthau there.
Good guy, Simon. One of the great
Not too happy.
I'll tell you.
So wait a minute. What happened to, I said now 5 guys for the power play. How come they have 5 out there?
I tell you, the province of Quebec has given a lot to this game, boy. More than any single province. I tell you, they've done a tremendous job with some characters.
Hey, I'm not going to say... whoa!
Oops. We got an extra 2 here. Guy's upset now.
Why? I'm not quite I don't understand why Michel is upset when he should be shorthanded, and it wasn't called. He got off the hook.
Well, he's saying that Peter never threw any punches. So, I don't know.
Probably doesn't think Peter came in late after the whistle and hit Milbury, too. Come on, Michel. Look, I know it's going bad.
He's just, yeah. He's just a
Nobody's having it good. You know, unfortunately, for Quebec, there were 4 teams in the Adams that really haven't been that great after the All-Star break. Buffalo's the only one that is.
Buffalo's winning the second half, aren't they?
Yeah.
Teams are at full strength. 3:05 left, second period. 4-0 Boston. Lafreniere winding up for the Nordiques. Simmer checks it. It pops in the Boston end. Bork there. Up for Simmer. Simmer for Middleton. Middleton a lead for Casper, and he's spilled by Shaw.
I tell you,
gets it back, and an offside pass to Derlego. And Gregson better call him.
Fred, you're right. You nailed it right on the head. Just what I was going to say. This is going to get ugly if he doesn't start calling him. I mean, call him frequently for any infraction at this point. The Bruins are going to be exhausted come third period and very chippy and very violent.
Don't miss SEC basketball this Saturday when Florida takes on Alabama. Tape delayed coverage beginning at 11:30 p.m. That's SEC basketball on NESN. We deliver. Now, this is reminiscent now of the Pittsburgh game right before the All-Star break when nothing was called that night. Bob Hall let everything go, and it mushroomed when the game was over.
Bruins finally get a second forward line. Long shot here by Larson, saved by Goslin. 2:38 left in the second period. 4-0 Boston. In the center ice, Goulet. Pass broken up by Larson. Crowder digging for it. Marquardt at left wing. Johnston at center. Bruins forecheck. Puck cleared out. Bounces to the Boston end. Back goes Larson. Icing. And here's a fight. Mahler and Marquardt again, and they started it originally. They were going originally. Mahler has his helmet off, and
once again, Marquardt, he's spotting Mahler and on a lot of weight and size, and he's really doing well for himself here. Mahler may have had the early part of this, but Nevin came back awful strong. Mahler's just happy it's over.
Well, Nevin holding his nose just a bit. He may have caught a shot, but he's headed for the dressing room. Mahler will go to his, and that leaves just a little more bench room for both clubs. And Michel has his gums and his gum going again.
You know, if we get a shot of the Bruins bench, there's not many bodies there, you know?
Oh, it looks like an optional practice.
Right, it does. But I was in that situation a few times, and it's kind of embarrassing. You don't know where to sit. Now, Stevie Casper is sitting on that bench all alone, right? Now, there's 3 at the far end of the bench, right? And there's 3 at the other end, and Stevie's in the middle.
Well, he's a center.
Now, when I used to in that spot a couple of times, he goes, oh, geez, what side am I want to belong.
See, all the left wings are over on that side. The centerman's in the middle, and all the right wings have been thrown out.
And Mahler got the extra 2, which is the important part of that one for instigating that fight.
We got to see Michel. Michel looks like he's going to do calisthenics now. Let's get through with the jumping jacks. Take a deep breath, relax. Looked an awful lot like Jack LaLanne then. Well, Stastny and Milbury had 2 minutes for roughing, and they're still in there. Now at 17:45, Marquardt and Moeller each get 5 for fighting, and Moeller gets the 2 minutes for instigating.
You know, it's impressed me since the big brawl and the Bruins on demand, the way the Bruins have played. They've really, the 2 lines that have been sent out there have gone in and forecheck. There was a couple of shots on Ranford, and that's all. I expected a real blitz, right?
Well, you would think that, but when you get a club that's playing as intense as the Bruins are, they know they're undermanned. They're playing strange positions, and they rose to the occasion. Oh, we got the fans getting it in now.
Fighting the stand.
Yeah. Now we got the fans involved. Okay, Stevie's standing there watching. What are these nuts doing? But the Bruin bench does look like practice, you know.
I don't know. I think Gregson gets paid overtime, so he.
Well, I'll tell you,
let this thing go all
he
night.
He must be on the clock. All you do now at this point, you call every infraction. You get them down to 3 aside and play that way. And then you got a couple of line changes. All you need really is about 15, 20 seconds when you're in shape to recover from being winded out there. So I think the Bruins will be all right, but they're playing awful well for the adversity that they have to play under.
They have 2 forward lines, period. And they keep it in the corner, battling, power play. Out of it comes Casper, flips it for Bork. Bork moving in, a shot, a save, Goslin. Right pad, just got it to knock it away from the corner. Simmer back for Telvin, in for Casper, in for Simmer. Middleton, a shot and knocked wide as he was set up beautifully in front. Power play, Boston, they have a power play goal. Picard checks the play, Simmer in the corner, trying to come out, flips it for Telvin, over to Bork. And Cote without a stick again.
He knows he doesn't have a stick. Ray knows he doesn't have it, just hit his foot. Wow.
Telvin moving in, shot. Simmer was blocking in front, might have gotten a piece of it. The Bruins got a power play goal to lead 5-0 with 1:27 left in the second period.
That was Quebec's. That's what Quebec needed, that next goal with the undermanned Bruins. They might have had a chance to come back, but they get 6 unanswered goals, Fred. You know, and I think it went off Simmer, but
Telvin the shot. How to score him, Charlie? Off his leg.
Well, I don't ask you how you get him, it's how many.
Michael Telvin put it near the net, and there it sneaks in, and Mahler's penalty costly.
Goulier's playing admirably up on the left side, Fred.
Siltonen now moving it up, team's at full strength. A clear in by Delego, covered now by Tallene. Tallene flips it up and out. I believe they gave it to Telvin. Here's Crowder over the line. Crowder, closing, shot. Oh, and he missed, and he was well set up as Goulet comes back to flip it in wide of Ranford. Ranford trying to clear it. In deep, Johnston clears it around. Shaw moving up. Shaw takes a hit from Tallene, goes around the other side, and with it, Larson gets it out center ice. Boudelier playing forward, and he drops it in. Telvin from Bork, and his Anton Stastny over the line. The pass covered, though, by Simmers back checking. Shaw with it. Blocked. Casper wraps Shaw. It's a wrap in return. Shaw and Casper. A real mismatch. I mean, little Steve and big Shaw, and they throw a punch or two there.
Little Steve is as game as any of them, though. He punched to start it, really. Well, I kind of thought it went off Simmer, Fred, but they got to give it to Telvin, so it might have originally hit the Quebec defenseman in turn before it got to Charlie.
It is listed Telvin from. Is Shaw getting the the extra 2? Well, there it is. Why not? That's the instigator.
The original punch was from Shaw. Stevie punched him back. Then Shaw raked him in the face with the glove. Then Stevie punched him and Shaw punched him back. So
it is Casper who gets an assist on this one for Telvin. And here's the shot, and it's going definitely wide, and it hit the skate of Simmer and had to be Simmer's goal.
Well, Fred,
we don't see it exactly.
You stuck your neck out on that one. I'm not sticking my neck out. We're going to give this one to you, one way or the other.
Okay, Telvin is listed from Casper and Bork, so Bork gets 2 assists, and Steve Casper has a couple of assists. And Casper's moving up in scoring as O'Reilly looks on, 14 seconds.
Well, leaps and bounds.
On the puck, Picard clearing it in. And
Fred, don't ever think, Fred, Terry O'Reilly wouldn't be love to be out there in this one.
Oh.
I know that stuff from him stand behind the bench.
A long shot. And cheers for the Bruins. Undermanned. That's one of their most impressive performances this season, an undermanned team, and they dominated the last 10 minutes.
They did. Took it right away from them again. Quebec had the early part of the period. Bruins took it. With the lack of players on the Bruins bench, that 5th goal was an awful big goal.
Just underway and still a power play for Boston, and the puck is cleared by Eagles. Almost hit Scapinello, the linesman. Telvin starts it back. They changed the 5th goal. Simmer gets the score from Telvin and Casper has 3 assists tonight. Here's Middleton cutting in. Casper scores! Steve Casper set up by Rick Middleton, his 4th point of the night on a power play. And who said Casper can't play offense?
He's playing, he's certainly displaying it lately.
Stevie hates that tag of checking line. He said, it's all a matter of getting chances.
You gotta believe that. That's what it is. His role has always been a checker, and he's done that so well, so often. You gotta say, well, I know I can trust Casper to check. Now he's getting a chance, playing the offense. Great play by Ricky Middleton there, and he has the poise to drag it back across. And Gosselin just didn't anticipate the stick play at all.
6-0 Boston leads. Ranford now trying to clear it out. Boudelier playing at left wing is pinched on the boards. Ties it up.
Dave, we got to give credit where credit's due. Fred did say Charlie Simmer got that goal. What do you think?
I think the man's on the ball.
Eagle eye.
I tell you who told me, Mark Quinzel. Our director.
And Leo White can check this out, but I believe 7 years ago tonight, Bruins, North Stars, 406 friendly minutes.
Yes, playoff game. They went berserk.
Shot silted and blocked, and out comes Johnston. He's playing at center with Crowder. High shot on Gosselin. A save to clear. Check. The Bruins get it at center ice. Milbury plays it back to Larson. 6-0 Boston. The goal, Casper from Middleton. And Simmer. Charlie Simmer gets the 5th goal from Telvin and Casper. Steve Casper has 3 assists and 1 goal. And last night, of course, he had a shorthanded goal. Rushing, Boudelier, the left winger, checked off the puck in the Nordique zone. And back now comes Cote. Over the line, stopped by Bork. And Boudelier tips it out to center ice. Boudelier has not looked bad at left wing. Not lost at all.
Not badly at all, Fred.
And Ray Bork winding up. In the center ice, couple of assists. Hard shot. Wide of Gosselin. Crowd buzzes. Simmer trying to put it in front. Can't do it. And Shaw clears it, but not out. Kept in by Talene. Breaking Shaw now as he stopped it. Over the line, Derlego. Derlego holding. Spilled. Tripped by Bork. And the puck cleared away. Shaw wraps it in the Boston end. We're in the 3rd period. Boston leads 6-0. They have 3 power play goals. Boudelier clearing it in. Winding up now is Picard, a bouncer. Routine for Ranford, and back comes Milbury. His pass blocked. Breakaway by Anton Stastny. Larson hustles back. The trailer, Goulet missed the net. Great work by Larson to get back in position on that one. Just excellent. Puck cleared away by Johnston. Now Goulet with it again. Peter Stastny shot, a save, and a breakout. Here comes Johnston. Crowder, 2-on-1 for the moment. In for Crowder, he can't get it. Knocked down on the play and winding up Michel Goulet off for Siltanen. Siltanen over the line. They're clearing deep to Peter Stastny. Peter puts it in front, knocked away, and Simmer starts it out. A lead for Middleton. Middleton over the line, in deep, checked by Rochefort, taken to the boards. Simmer in to get it. And he's ridden off. And back in the center ice, Shaw wraps it in deep. 6-0 Boston. Telvin, he has a power play goal. Clears it out. Now Casper with it. Offensive star. A goal and 3 assists. Eagles back in the center ice over the line. Checked by Casper. The Bruins going 2 ways. A shot by Shaw. Missed the net. The long rebound to Finn. Left point. Walks in. Shot and a save. Ranford. Rebound. Save. Ranford. A beauty on Huff. Bruins trying to clear it. Can't. Finn kept it in. Cleared it to the boards. Bork after it. Can't clear it out. Finn trying to cut in. Wheels. Shoots. Blocked. Deflected wide. Bork there. Can't wrap it out. Shaw clears it in. All the way around the boards. Finn checked. Bruins Bork breaks it out. I tell you, remarkable conditioning by this team, but O'Reilly worked on it this week, and it's showing now.
Gary stayed with this shot. He gets a rebound that he stays on. Tried to flip it with his stick. Gets it to Cote, but it ends up going wide, and he gets a break.
Marquardt clears it out. Center ice. Knocked back in. Talene with it. Up for Crowder. He's checked on the play. Bounces over to Reed Larson. Gets it away to Johnston and cleared in the Nordiques zone. Back out center ice. Larson breaks it up, wraps it back in on Goslin, who replaced Malarchuk in the second period after the 4th goal by Boston. And Goslin's given up 2 power plays. Nordiques caught twice for instigating fights after we really had a major brawl. Back comes Boutelier, playing left wing, a shot, a hard drive, and a save by Goslin. And the Nordiques break it out. Anton Stastny for Peter. Shot blocked by Milbury, and he clears it. Finn right back. Check. Boutelier away to Casper. Casper with Middleton. This drops it in the zone. Steve Casper rolling up the points now. Playing on the power play. Has a power play goal tonight and 3 assists. Milbury takes over in the Boston zone. Clears it out. Bruins Johnston over the line for Marquardt. Off for Simmer, shifting for Johnston. It doesn't work. And out comes Goulet. Goulet with Finn. Checked all the way, broken up by Marquardt's back checking, and here comes Johnston, fairly open. Fires, save Goslin. And Johnston is upended by Mahler. Peter Stastny breaks center ice. Over the line, drop pass Goulet, cutting in. Shot deflected by Talene, missed the net. Puck behind the net. Ranford trying to wrap it around and out of the zone. Stopped by Mahler. Shot in. Save. Spilled is Peter Stastny. Great grab by Ranford on Anton. It really wasn't a save, but he just stopped the action with the interception. With the score, Boston 6, Quebec nothing. Bruins hockey will continue in a moment.
Save to me.
In this town, you are what you drive, so I drive a funny car to make a serious point. Look, 2 different gasolines. On regular unleaded, engine knocks round my power. But on Texaco Super Unleaded, I get performance fast. Its higher octane helps knock out the knocks. And to help keep the power flowing, the detergent in its Petrox additive helps clean clogged fuel injectors and keeps them clean. Texaco Super Unleaded with Petrox detergent. Superstar power for more car power.
Well, Bill Ranford rewarding the Bruins with their hustle and all-out good skating tonight by coming up with big shots when he needs them, like the one right there.
Yeah, that's a save. Fred said it wasn't a save, but Billy's parents back at home watching on the dish gonna want credit where credit's due. That was gonna go in the short side.
Middleton now over the line for Casper. Casper for Crowder. Play broken up. Nordiques come right back. Lafreniere checked by Middleton. Looks for a trailer. Watched by Middleton all the way. Trying to make his pass from the boards. And he's stopped by Casper, who can't clear it. Kept in by Rochefort. Into Grodnick. Centering pass knocked away in front. Rochefort, left point, keeps it in. Goes now to Lafreniere. Screen shot deflected wide. Casper knocks down the man and is going out.
No.
Penalty on Casper, who has a goal and 3 assists for spilling Lafreniere.
Well, hey, it's Terry Gregson's game to call. That's the way he saw it.
Well, both of them going for the puck like this after the rebound. Now they're both tussling for the puck.
Yep, I
Little
agree.
body position. The guy just lost his weight and fell down.
I agree. Gregson didn't, calling it a hook on Casper. By the way, Buffalo has beaten St. Louis 4-3. The Red Hot Sabres have won 8 of 10 this month, and they are now just 4 points behind the Nordiques. And unless something falls out of the sky here in the last 12:32.
Nothing's falling out of the sky tonight. It's
A
all
big
over.
star has exploded, you know, 160,000 years ago. So,
Okay, Fred, tell me what
did
that
you
has
know
to-
that?
No, no.
Yeah,
What?
the astronomers are really excited about that.
Boy, there's one.
We're
from
just
the red
catching
line.
up to it. It takes that
Come
amount
on,
of
left.
time for us to know it.
Come out of left field with that one.
Well, you were talking about the sky.
Okay. I stand corrected.
Power play. Peter Stastny with it. Drops it off. Silton at a shot. No goal. A whistle had blown, and the sticks are high. Milbury and
Somebody chopped Ranford. I think that's what it's all about.
Well, Mike Huff is a tough player. I wouldn't call him chippy. He's a tough player.
Yeah, he's a tough boy.
I'm looking to see who might be chippy out there, and
I think somebody tried to get
I
the
don't
stick
see
up in
anything
Ranford's face when Silton had wound up. Tried to distract Billy somewhat. It worked. I think he called the penalty as soon as he called it. As soon as he saw the penalty happening, saved the goal.
well, it's going to be Huff and Milbury getting matching high sticks.
I think it'll probably be 4-2.
Well, let's see if
It
you're
should
right.
be 4-2.
Bill Ranford, who's
I
played very well.
Did very well.
Huff gets an extra 2.
You called it, Turk.
Yeah, well, I'm been lucky on those calls.
I better jump in here. You guys are red hot.
Fred's hot, called the goal. Simmer got it. Okay. It's a little bit of a coward there. I backed off. I didn't want to really call that one. So I leave that one up to Fred. Fred's right.
In case you're wondering, 196 total penalty minutes in that wild and long second period.
Billy's a little shaky here. He might have caught her under the jaw. Hope he's not hurt. It does. It looks like he can't get up on his leg.
Casper has the lone goal of the period, coming at 24 seconds on the power play from Middleton and Simmer, his 16th. All right, here it is. Siltanen drives it. Now watch the traffic out in front. Huff will be out in front along with Milbury. Well, we couldn't see it.
Yeah, he pulled
It
something.
already happened.
Yeah, he pulled something. He pulled something.
It did not involve Huff.
No, not at all.
Sparing him or anything. Just a twist by Ranford. An awkward twist.
I think he may have been leaning, trying to look through that screen to find the shot.
But Gregson had blown the whistle because Milbury and Huff were high sticking.
Thank goodness.
Okay.
Because even if that puck didn't make it across the line, Goulet was there.
Oh, yeah,
By
that
himself.
would have made it, regardless. I'm glad Billy's all right.
Milbury and Huff high sticking, 2 minutes each at 7:37, but they have taken off the 2 minutes that they had given Huff an extra 2. So just matching penalties.
Okay.
It's still a power play for Quebec. Ranford back up, looks okay in the nets. It is Peter Stastny. Power play for the Nordiques. About 8 minutes played in the third period. Anton Stastny offside as he carried in Goulet offside. 12:10 left in the third period. In the first period, Boston led 3-0 as they had goals by Telvin, Middleton, and Lindsman. In the second period, goals by Johnston and by Simmer on a power play. Telvin's was a power play. In the third period, Casper a power play, and Steve Casper has a goal and 3 assists.
Well, that's a real feather, Fred, for the Bruins, who have been struggling on the power play to score that many power play goals against the #1 penalty-killing unit in the league.
Ranford ambles out a little laboriously as now he tried to clear it, can't. Anton Stastny keeps it in, checked by Bork. Into the corner it goes. A Grodnick there. Now to Anton Stastny. Anton holding, Middleton watching. In deep, Peter trying to get it to Goulet. It's tipped away. Fought for. Crowder is a penalty killer. Siltanen with it. All the way across to Peter Stastny. 6-0 Boston. Power play, the Nordiques. Anton Stastny from the right point works it in deep. Watched by Bork. Now trades it off for Peter Stastny. In for Anton. They can't work it in front. It bounces for Siltanen, though. His shot blocked. Loose puck. Crowder trying to work it out. Bork flips it up and out. 34 seconds left on the power play. 6-0 Boston. Siltanen starting the play. Anton Stastny over the line. Drops it for Peter Stastny. Peter drops it back for Siltanen. 15 seconds left. Across, a misfired shot from the right point by Goulet. Goes behind the net. Peter with it. Now to Grodnick. Intercepted by Bork. Bork, Johnston, off for Marquardt. 2-on-1. Try to get it to an open. Johnston couldn't do it. Marquardt steals it inside the line. In front. Shot by Johnston. Missed the net. He finally set him up. Boston back at full strength. 10:19 left, third period. Derlego fires in. Puck batted out by Simmer. Simmer flips it in wide of Gosling. Winding up Shaw. Shaw center ice, fires in wide of Ranford, deflects near him. Larson digs it away for Simmer. For Casper, breaks it out with Boutelier coming up on the left wing side, looking very good at left wing. In deep, takes a hit from Shaw. Now it's wrapped around the boards for Finn. Played to center ice, bounces for Cote. Cote over the line, drops it in front, and it missed. And Simmer gets it back. Now to Johnston. Johnston flips it in on Gosling wide. 9:24 left, third period. 6-0 Boston. 3 power play goals by the Bruins, and Casper with a goal and 3 assists. Anton Stastny back, clears it in. And the undermanned Bruins matching Quebec stride for stride. A marvelous exhibition by the team. O'Reilly's lost about a third of the team in the big melee, or after it. Rochefort works it out, and here's the back checking of Marquardt to get possession. Put it in the Boston end for Telvin. Telvin gets it out of the zone. Goulet wraps it back in. And Ranford, Bork trying to move it out. Can't. Eagles check. Bork comes out with it and breaks. Wheels center ice. 3-on-2. Over the line. Off. He has it in the corner. Finally checked by Siltanen. And when he takes it and starts those rushes, the fans really whoop it up for Raymond Bork. Winding up now, Reed Larson. Off for Simmer. Simmer in for Middleton. For Casper, a shot and a save. Middleton gets it back, left point. Tallene, good move to keep it in. The shot caught by Gosling and dropped off. 8 minutes left, third period, 6-0 Boston. And Buffalo already winning. They're within 4 of Quebec with 2 games in hand. Grodnick in deep. Boutelier checks it. Now Cote. Cote's pass stopped by Casper. Bounces back for Grodnick. overskates it. Out comes Middleton. Middleton for Casper. They clear it in, and the lines change, and defense. Marquardt breaks it up. Now Finn starting for the Nordiques, for Peter Stastny. Has trouble with it with the checking of Marquardt. Talvin steals, breaks over the line, drops it for Marquardt. The shot, the save, Goslin. Good rush in by Marquardt on the left wing side. The Nordiques start it back. Shaw now to Lafreniere. Back for Goulet. Popped in, knocked down by Bork. Bork clears it up, but into the stands, and the faceoff called in the Boston zone.
All right, let's take a look at our Budweiser NHL scoreboard. Will Paymont, trying to help burn his old teammates, came up with a hat trick tonight to give Buffalo a 4-3 win over St. Louis. Sabres will be here Saturday afternoon. You'll see it on NESN beginning at 1:15. Buffalo, as Fred mentioned, now 4 points behind the Nordiques. Detroit rallied to beat Vancouver 5-4, so that #1 pick looking even better.
That's a Harry Sinden score.
Pierre Turgeon, where are you? Islanders.
I tell you, I'm going to stick my neck out a little bit. Don't underestimate Shanahan.
I know you like Shanahan. Islanders lead Pittsburgh 4-3 in the third.
Rochefort a shot deflected over the head of Ranford in deep. Fought for DeLego and Casper. DeLego loses to Larson. Larson slams it up to Simmer. Simmer to Casper, breaks, maybe 2-on-1, goes in, cuts in, shoots, save! Follow up. Simmer can't quite reach it. Good rush by Casper. And DeLego back. Drops it now for Mahler. The shot knocked away by Ranford. Mahler centers it. Knocked away by Casper. He's up attacking and he's back defending. That's tremendous play. On-demand Bruins pour out 5 new players to replace the 5 that were on there. And Johnston winding up. 6-0 Boston. Talene, a high shot, and Goslin drops it off. Penalty coming up on Boston. Don't know what it's for. Wonder if it could be too many men on the ice. I doubt that. That's the last one that would be called.
Not enough men on the bench. Let's see what the signal's going to be. A high stick.
And with the score, Boston 6, Quebec 0. Bruins hockey will continue in a moment.
No, Tom. I need help. He's there. Sure, I'm glad to see you. Stay with you? Figured you wouldn't mind.
And when the last tray's rounded up, you head for the mountains. Bush. And the beer that goes down smooth as a mountain stream.
Sure are you one. How about this in here?
Head for the mountains of Bush beer.
Mats Talene called for a high stick at 14-23, so Quebec will get another shot on the power play.
Casper's out killing the penalty with Bork, Talvin, Middleton. Talvin trying to clear. It's into the stands. 5:30 left in the third period. 6-0 Boston.
Now I know you like Brendan Shanahan because you're big on the Ontario League as compared to the Quebec League.
No, he plays like Derek. He played like Derek did.
He's a tough player. Turgeon is a sweet, classy player.
Like only like Jean Beliveau. That's all. Yeah. That's
well,
so what you're saying is, let me get this right. What you're saying is the Bruins would be better off with another Sanderson than a Beliveau?
No, I go with Beliveau every time. Are you kidding me? But
I gave you
the
a
Bruins
chance.
not to be disappointed with either one of them. That's what I'm saying. Both of them are great young players. Both of them are franchise.
I wouldn't mind seeing another Sanderson in town.
It's an Irishman, Shanahan, in here. They'd love him in Boston.
Remember we had Satch Sanderson. Remember him, Fred? Oh, Derek, I see. That's the Sanderson you were talking about.
Okay, get it up. No, I just said don't be disappointed. Watch this race for #1. It's going to be a tough choice.
Harry's done it before.
Yeah.
And boy, was he right on Bellows. Did you see Bellows in Minnesota? He must weigh about 250 pounds.
Yeah, he's in trouble, yeah.
That was Satch Sanders, of course. You're the only Sanderson we've had in town.
Yeah.
I hadn't forgotten you.
Goulet keeps it in. A power play here. The pass across, batted in by Huff, deep. Larson back. Trying to move it off. Huff checks it. Peter Stastny with it. Wheels. Peter holding. Now to Siltanen. He's broken up on the play. 1:19 left on the Nordique power play. 6-0 Boston. 4:52 left in the third period. Siltanen gets it off to Peter Stastny. Pass in, blocked. Bounces for Larson, and Larson clears it away. Bruins with 3 power play scores out of the 6. Siltanen off for Huff in deep. He's checked by Bork. Bork trying to glove it away. Can't. Peter Stastny wheels in the zone. Passes in deep. Anton trying to put it in front on a deflection. Couldn't do it. And it's kept in by Goulet at the left point. Off for Siltanen. Up for Peter Stastny. 35 seconds on the power play. 6-0 Boston. Peter's pass blocked by Telvin. Bounces away to Johnston. Johnston clears it. We're down to 25 seconds and 4 minutes left in the game. 6-0 Boston with Buffalo winning. Quebec certainly has to be worried. It's a question of making the playoffs. In deep. Kept in now by Lafreniere. His pass, though, goes outside the line. Down to 10 seconds. Finn coming back. Broken up by Casper. Casper wheels it away to the Nordique zone, and the Bruins kill off another penalty. We're down to 3:35 left. Third period, 6-0 Boston. Ogrodnik now to Finn. Off for Shaw. The clear in, knocked down by Larson. He lost the puck, though. Bruins can't clear it. Shaw trying to wheel it in. Is checked. And a breakout by Boston. Boudelier, a lead for Simmer. Simmer with Crowder. Stops, cuts, and clears it in deep. And Crowder is spilled into the net heavily and shaken up as Shaw might have tripped him. Crowder down and shaken up.
Keith hit that post, Fred.
He hit that post. It didn't come off the hinges then. No great invention. It works when it should and comes off when it should.
With the score, Boston 6, Quebec 0. Bruins hockey will continue in a moment.
Go to the hoop with the high-flying Celtics in this month's issue of The Fan. Also, see who's clearing the way for the streaking Bruins. Find out what it will take to make the Pats super again and who might catch on with the Red Sox. Order The Fan by calling 1-800-225-5669 or look for the order form in the 1986 Red Sox souvenir book. Order now so you'll receive the Red Sox spring training issue in The Fan's first annual bathing suit issue. It's all coming up next month in The Fan.
Keith Crowder appears to be all right, sitting on the bench. Shaking up just a wee bit.
The post can shake you up, and you get wrapped around it, and you're going in full speed, and you say to yourself, well, let's find out if the neck and the shoulder works. He's okay.
Bruins forecheck well. The line out there has Johnston, Casper, and Marquardt. 2:58 left, third period. Mahler clearing in. Anton Stastny centers it, but Casper right back. The intercept. Flip it up to Nevin. Nevin can't move it out. A battle for it. Kept in by Eagles. Now to Rochefort. Rochefort cutting, shooting, and scoring. Rochefort destroys the shutout with 2:35 left.
Well, that's a shame. This is the third straight game that Billy has shut out the opposition through 40 minutes. He got the shutout in Minnesota.
Billy Ranford will have a lot of shutouts. The mistake made here, see the two Bruins at the top of the screen, both rushed Rochefort, and then Telvin screened him. Billy never had a chance, never saw it. They were going for him in the last 10, 12, 15 minutes. They knew he wanted the shutout. But Billy Ranford will get a lot of shutouts in his career.
Well, if Billy can play the way he has for the last few weeks, be in good shape.
He's getting a big hand here from the Bruins fans. Core's effort, he kept him in the game when it was questionable. Billy Ranford did it tonight.
Boudelier has been playing forward with the undermanned Bruins. Clears it over the line, knocked back out. Larson on it. Battling Goulet. Flips it in. Leon Rochefort, the defenseman, moving, cutting, and getting the score to destroy a shutout for Ranford, who turned in a solid game in the nets, and we're down to 2 minutes left. Peter Stastny in the center ice, over the line, Swings in deep. Looks for Picard, but it has to chase it back. Clears it in, deflected away. Goulet centers it. Peter Stastny is blocked. A backhander and a score by Huff to make it 6-2 with 1:45 left.
Now, what you got to be careful about here, this little collapse, overrunning players and getting caught out of positions. The Bruins played so well, so long, for 57 minutes. You don't want this to start, you know, scrambling around for the next game. They had to prepare a little bit better than this.
Huff gets the score, the second. Rochefort had the first. This has been a marvelous game for the Boston Bruins and for Bill Ranford in goal. And for Steve Casper. His Derlego breaking up Bork in front of the net, and Bork now forced to sweep it away all the way down to Gosselin. 1:25 left. Derlego starts it back. Bruins break it up at the line. Shaw trying to move now. Stopped, and Ray Bork has it. Up for Tallene, and it's cleared out of the zone. Going for it, Marquard. High stick, Marquard. 1:02 left. He's out.
Now he's clamping down on high stick and penalties. It's a smart move on his part. Don't let anything get started now.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by your New England Nissan dealers. By Busch Beer, the beer with a taste as smooth as its name. By Texaco with Petrox detergent to help keep your car's power flowing. And by your Chevy dealers of New England. New Englanders choose more Chevys than any other cars and trucks. So start where people end up. Goulet moving it in the Boston zone. 51 seconds left in the game, and the puck trickles out the center ice. Casper is on with Middleton. This clear into the Boston end could be icing. And it is. We're down to 38 seconds. A face-off to the left of Gosselin. Steve Casper will take the draw. Boston 6-2. They led 3-0 at the end of the first period. They were leading 4-0 when, I would say, Dale Hunter provoked as wild a scene here as you want to see, but the Bruins wound up on the short end with 6 players given game misconducts. Here's Larson going with Huff. Not needed at all. I hate to see, as a journeyman hockey player, Huff and Reed Larson.
Well, I'll tell you, Reed Larson's been looking for it all night. Fred, I wanted to comment on it earlier. Before this game was over, Reed was going to get in one. He'd been looking at guys all night long. He's been looking at Huff. He wanted to get Huff early. He almost went a little while ago. He stopped. He went to drop his gloves. Huff went away. So Reed wanted to get in there. So Reed's a tough boy when he wants to be.
More exciting Adams Division hockey coming up on Saturday afternoon when the Bruins meet the Buffalo Sabres. And, of course, Buffalo winning tonight and challenging Quebec for that 4th and final playoff spot. And the Bruins need a win to stay in the thick of the Adams Division title fight. Sabres suddenly become the hottest team in the division, now battling Quebec. And a victory tonight, 4-3 over St. Louis. This will be the last regular meeting of these two teams, and both need a win badly. Face-off 1:15, immediately following Bruins Digest at 1 o'clock. That's the Bruins and the Buffalo Sabres, live from the Garden on Nesson. We deliver. .1928, Huff and Larson go out. So we have 32 seconds left. Face-off will be right around the Quebec blue line. Power play for the Nordiques will run to the end of the game unless they score. Siltanen wraps it in. Eagles lost it to Boudelier. Boudelier trying to clear it, does. Racing for it, Johnston and Goulet. Johnston trying to bear in. A shot, a save, and Johnston winds up heavily in the net. Nice play by Johnston. He had the edge in Goulet. I mean, a little more intensity.
I tell you, he had the speed. Michel's gone high. He could fly. But Greg saw the opportunity, jumped quick, and now he has him here. He gets the body position on him, leans, waits outside his stick. Now he knows he's going down. Let's try a shot. Didn't have much option. Thought he takes the brunt of the post into the soft part of the stomach. He's okay. Great speed, Johnson. A lot faster than a lot of people give him credit. You give him that puck, give him that opportunity, he can move.
Playing at center for the last half of the game with 1/3 of the team kicked out after the fight. 10 seconds left. Boudelier clears it, and that'll do it. And the Bruins post a victory. Salute their young goaltender who had a shutout going for it. Well, the final 3.
A well-deserved shutout. Could have been. Billy played awful well when it counted. He got a little bit of a defensive lapse there, and they fouled one in on him, then they get a fluke. Tough break. Billy will be back for a lot more shutouts, though.
Boston wins it 6-2. And our Texaco player of the game is Steve Casper for his goal and 3 assists. The final score is Boston 6 and Quebec 2. Stay tuned next for the Polaroid Bruins Instant Replay.
Hey, New England, with financing as low as 3.9%, you're going to get a great truck deal from your local Nissan dealer. In fact, you could save as much as $1,300 or get up to $800 cash back. And on certain models, get a value package of options worth $630 absolutely free. New England Nissan, we've got the trucks, we've got the bucks, we've got the deals. Can we give you a deal?
We're your New England Nissan men. Yes, we can. Yes.
Don't win nothing for practice. Don't win nothing if you don't.
All right, let's have.
After a long day of hard knocks,
That's right.
head for the beer that goes down smooth as a mountain stream. Bush.
Here. This one don't buck so hard.
Head for the mountains of Bush beer.
There's a lot of talk on TV about cars with clogged fuel injectors. Chances are you'll never have the problem if you use Texaco. Because the detergent in its Petrox additive helps clean clogged injectors and keeps them clean. While the higher octane and super unleaded helps knock out the knocks. Look, 2 different gasolines. On regular unleaded, engine knocks rob my power. But on Texaco Super Unleaded, I get performance fast. Texaco Super Unleaded with Petrox detergent. Superstar power for more car power.
14 seconds left. Way to Larson, over the line. Larson trying to move in. Up to Middleton. Shot saved. Score! Raymond Mark! 7 seconds left. And number 7 comes in. Middleton's rebound to tie it up for Boston. Peterson, a shot, tipped, front. Score! The Bruins win it in overtime. Linsman wins for Boston 4-3. What a comeback for Terry O'Reilly and the Bruins.
That final score tonight, Bruins over the Quebec Nordiques, 6-2, your final. Your Bruins Polaroid Instant Replay is brought to you by the Polaroid Spectra system. We take your pictures seriously. So the Buffalo Sabres with a win tonight and the Quebec loss, and Buffalo is now within 4 points of the Nordiques, down toward the bottom of the Adams division. The battle for that final playoff spot in the division. The Bruins, with the win tonight, have moved within 2 points of second place, and the Montreal Canadiens. Too bad that Billy Ranford wasn't able to get the shutout. Would have been his second in a row, but those things happen. 6-2 the final now. Let's go back to Boston Garden for Dave Shea and his post-game conversation with Rick Middleton. David?
Thank you, Tom. Rick, nice to have this one over, and great to pick up 2 points again.
Yeah, again, been a while. It's nice to come home and get an early lead like that.
You know, the way this game started out, you folks were playing your best hockey in some time, maybe since you played Quebec back here on February 8th. It's too bad the fights and the game misconducts kind of took the whole team out of its game.
Yeah, it kind of like ruined the game. It was kind of like shinny hockey out there after a while. Got a little tiring there towards the middle of the third period. It's not really great hockey for the fans because the players end up pacing themselves and it's not, end-to-end rushing. But I thought it was a good game, a good win.
What was said after last night's game? Obviously a disappointing loss, or was it saved until just prior to tonight's game, whatever Terry had to say?
Yeah, well, sometimes when you don't say anything, it's better than saying a lot of things, and it was just kind of, the guys were down and the coach was down. It was a big game when we didn't come up for it. So basically, we had a little speech before the game tonight, and Terry told us, that everybody was going to be scrutinized on the way they played tonight, and if we didn't get our act together, there might be some changes made. So obviously it worked.
Well, the team had its act together right from the start as the Bruins jumped out to a 3-0 first period lead, boosted that to 6-0 early in the third period, and it was just a matter of playing defense and hanging on. Your goal isn't the way you diagram it in the dressing room, but, in the morning box score, you could probably say it was a 45-foot slap shot, huh?
Well, when they say when it's all over, well, looking at it here, when it's all over, they don't say how, they say how many. And the thing is, Stevie called for it here. That's why I threw it out blind, and the defenseman ended up putting it into his own net. It's been a while since I got a lucky one like that.
Well, that's the kind Simmer likes to pride himself on.
He gets those, yeah, he's usually in that right position.
And you picked up a point. Now, you have, 3 goals in your last 2 games, and you also picked up an assist on another goal tonight.
Yeah, I had a good streak going until the layoff. And, maybe at my age, 4 days off. I like to have 1 day off, but 4 days off really didn't help me. And then I got the injury in Montreal and missed another 3 days. So it's about 2 weeks there. I only played about 4 periods, so I'm feeling better now, getting back into the swing of things.
All right, if we can, we have time for just one more question. 18 games left. How do you treat the final 18 games, Rick? Are you still gunning for first, or are you just taking a game at a time to try to play as well as you can?
Well, you play as well as you can and let the chips fall where they may. If you play as well as you can and you got your game together like tonight, there's a shot at first place. But I think, we have to be a little smart about it. Tonight, you could have got some injuries late in the game. We were down to 2 lines. We're playing a lot of guys. What you want to do is play 4 lines, not 2 lines. So I think, in the next 18 games, we're going to have to be really smart and maybe rest a few players like Ray and get prepared for the playoffs.
Well, you'll need another effort like tonight, though, against Buffalo on Saturday.
Definitely, there's no easy games anymore, and you want to win the game, but when you go into the playoffs, you have to win with your whole bench. You're not going to win with 2 lines or 6 players, so we might as well. We got to throw everybody into it right now and get everybody ready for the playoffs. It's the only way we're going to get anywhere.
Good game, Rick. Thanks for coming on. Thanks. Rick Middleton, our guest. Let's go back to Tom.
Right, David, and guests on our Bruins Polaroid Instant Replay receive the Polaroid Spectra system. We'll get back to the other members of our Nesson squad at the Garden, Fred Cusick and Derek Sanderson. Next, our final score tonight, the Bruins 6, the Quebec Nordiques 2.